This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
From the gridiron to the ball diamonds, from the hardwood to the ice rinks, from the fairways to the octagon and everywhere in between. If it makes headlines, it's fair game on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. And we welcome you to the Sports Reel podcast here on the PFC Entertainment Network, a very special live edition. We are actually live streaming from Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. Along with Tim Sheridan, I'm Jason Klaus. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here. And you, if you are in the Lapeer area, man, this is a place you want to be this afternoon for this big championship Sunday for the NFL. And we're going to cover part one because all roads lead to New Orleans, my friend, for the Super Bowl. And it starts here tonight. We are going to be covering live streaming during the NFC Championship game between the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. And Tim, this was not the NFC Championship game we were hoping for when we decided to do this here today.
No, not at all. We were still looking forward to the Lions being in it. They were odds-on favorite to be here this weekend, and they had to get out there and shit the bed this past weekend. It's been a rough 8 days. You have to say that. Still haven't got over it. Still didn't even put my Lions gear away yet.
And I understand that. If I was a bet man, I would have lost money because I could have swore you were going to wear Kansas City Chiefs gear here today. But we'll talk about them here in a little bit. But before we get to the game here today, the NFC Championship, and then later on at 6 o'clock, we will see the AFC Championship. That game is going to be probably the main event, if I'm being honest here. We will see later on the Buffalo Bills are going to be in Kansas City to play the defending two-time champions, the Chiefs. This, on paper, is probably the game most of America is looking forward to. Both of the winners of these two games will meet, like we said, at the Super Bowl on Sunday, February the 9th. I don't know, man. We being Lions fans, we came into the postseason with all this anticipation, all this hype, a lot of hope, I guess, for the lack of a better term. And what we saw last weekend just was not what we were expecting. It was not in the cards at all.
Yeah, no, it took a little bit of wind out of the sails there. Lots of disappointment with last weekend went. Not disappointed with the season.
No, certainly not.
Great season. But there was definitely some issues with last weekend's game. And I've been wanting to come on for about a week and kind of do something. It's been 8 days since the last time we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And all that social media's been doing is making me very, very angry. There's so many people out there that are, down and on golf or golf. They need to get rid of golf, and it's like golf's not real. They need to get over that shit. We had some turnovers in that game, but our offense still put up 31 points and almost 5 minutes of offense. That's enough to win a game. What let us down this past weekend was our defense, and the defense caught up to us. The injuries. You can only go so far in the postseason with that amount of injuries, and it showed. And there's been a lot of talk about our coordinators, and we might have had some that moved on this week. And the defensive coordinator, I'm not upset with at all, to be honest. He kind of let me down in that game. I know he was, there's a lack of people to using that game, but I didn't see any attempt to even make any changes in that game. You know, if you want something to happen, and we need to make changes while the game's going on. But we couldn't stop them at all. You know, it was just every time they got the ball, they were scoring. I mean, I think Washington punted one time in that game. So just have to say, like, Goff's not a problem. Our offense is not a problem. We need to stop saying that. You know, it was a bad game, and let's look forward to next year.
Well, let's talk about the coaching situation real quick. The news broke in the last week, as expected. We lost our offensive coordinator, we lost our defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson is going to be heading to Chicago to be the head coach of the Bears, and Aaron Glenn is taking over the New York Jets. It's not a big surprise that they were going to be offered head coaching jobs. I think the biggest thing for me was seeing Johnson land in Chicago. We talked about this before we came on the air. He just became public enemy number one. Everything that he did on the sidelines in the Honolulu blue and silver don't mean a damn thing at this point, because he's now donning the navy and orange of the Chicago Bears. And I got a feeling, for a lot of the Lion faithful fans, actual fans, not the fair weather ones, we'll talk about that during the course of this broadcast, I have no doubt. But he really did. Like, he's public enemy number one. You don't go to a divisional rival for something like this. So we are going to have those games very, very close on our calendar. We're going to be circling those dates for sure when the Bears and the Lions meet up next season. What was your takeaway with the announcements of the coaching changes for the Lions?
Oh, like I was talking about there a minute ago, I wasn't upset with the defensive coordinator. Him moving on. If you remember back a year ago after the 2023 season, we were all kind of on Aaron Glenn's head. Like, we felt like he let us down on defense. Our defense did not look good last year. It was one of the worst in the league. Not this past season, but the season before. It was one of the worst in the league. So I was okay with him moving on. I think he made a shitty decision of which team to go to. Like, why would you pick the Jets? They have no draft capital. They've given away all their draft capital. You don't even know if you're going to have a quarterback next season. Like, it's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Who do you got on the side? Zach Wilson? Is he even still there?
I don't know if he is or not, if I'm being honest with you. But, the thing that I took away from it was, after what we saw last week with the Lions and Washington, I kind of low-key expected Aaron Glenn to stay. Like, the interest to get him to another team would have waned a little bit.
You would think so, yeah. Disappointment in that game.
So it makes you wonder, what kind of options was Glenn looking at that we don't know about that was immediately taken off the table after that game? I've got to believe there was at least one or two teams that are like, yeah, maybe this isn't our guy. And then you get a team like the New York Jets that is clamoring for anything to make the needle move in a positive way. They threw him the magic number, and now he's going to become a head coach. It's something that I'm sure he's been wanting to do for a long, long time now. But I'm with you. The Jets, I don't know. I don't know if that was the right pick, but at the end of the day, how much of it was influenced by the paycheck? Because
Yeah.
That was taken into consideration.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's got to be that. And also, he was originally drafted by the Jets when he was a player. So maybe there's some feelings there. I just think it's a bad pick on his part. You're going to a team that, cap space is gone, no draft capital. They still have the same GM. And we get into that talk. That's another team that we've been talking all season long about. Chicago needed to fire everybody and rehire them.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnson just made that same mistake. The only difference is Chicago has draft capital. They have cap space because they're not paying that much. veteran quarterback, a ton of money. There's he's got a future with it. I think it's a good team that needs a little bit leader, but with still the same GM there, they're going to keep making the same mistakes. It's the same thing with the Jets. Like all the stuff that went on there this year with the fire of Robert Saleh and all of those stuff. And I think the fire of Robert Saleh actually came down from the owner and not the GM. Everything like that was the owner's decision. And I just think it's a bad move on their part. I mean, Ben Johnson, I kind of get why he went there, but the team's got a lot of upside. But even though they weren't very good this year, I just was disappointed with his decision to go there based on the fact it's a positional rival of ours. And I was really hoping that with him taking a head coach position, it was going to be outside of, the norm. I really thought he was going to go Raiders, but Raiders ended up getting Pete Carroll, who came back out of retirement and signed like a 4-year deal. And who the hell knows? Like, I was surprised by that one when I saw it.
No, I was too, but at the same time, I was like, oh man, Pete Carroll is one of those guys that I have always. Yeah, we're getting word that they can't hear you very well, so I don't know if that's because your mic is muted.
No, I don't think it's not, because my mic's through you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So maybe I need to turn up the gain a little bit.
But Pete Carroll is one of those guys that I really, I always had a lot of respect for when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is one of those teams I always kind of low key rooted for because nobody really paid attention to them unless they made the playoffs. But Pete Carroll really established a legacy there, and to see him get another opportunity with the Raiders. The Raiders is another one of these teams. Our good friend Eric Cherry, friend of the show, is going to chime in on this. I have no doubt once he tunes in here. But I was happy to see that the Raiders signed him. So I'm not mad about it at all. But as we look at the last couple of games of this season, aside, obviously we're going to have our predictions of who's going to the Super Bowl on February the 9th. But when you look back on this season up to this point, is there one or two headlines that have stood out to you like, man, this was the defining moment of this season?
You mean as like throughout the season?
Yeah.
One or two headlines?
I know I do that. Well, while you're thinking about that, I find this very interesting. The Fox broadcast team is giving what they think their Super Bowl matchup is going to look like. Howie Long is saying Kansas City and the Eagles. Oh, man, I missed it. A couple of them were Kansas City and the Eagles. Howie Long, I think Bradshaw was the other one. The other one was Washington and Buffalo. At this point, there are the heavy favorites. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the odds-on favorite. Two-time defending Super Bowl champions looking for that historic three-peat. As far as the NFC goes, I've gone back and forth about this, but I feel like it is going to be the Eagles. That's going to be representing the NFC. I would be surprised if Washington was able to advance to the Super Bowl. It would be the first time a rookie quarterback would lead his team into the Super Bowl. I found that very interesting.
Yeah, it's something that's not a thing. Obviously, it's never happened yet, but he has the ability that I think he could do it. Just watching him play against the Lions, he looked very poised. He didn't fall to any pressure. Like he looked good out there. He looked relaxed. And a lot of people that I've been talking to have made that same comment about how relaxed he looked. And I mean, it's easy to look that relaxed when you're playing from your head in the game the whole time. There's not much that kind of gets you worked up. But he looked really good against the Lions. I think they could do some damage against this Eagles defense. And they have this season already. The team, this is the third time they've met this season. So they know each other well. They both have a win this season against each other. So it's going to be a close game. But I do think that my call for the Super Bowl, it's gonna be the Chiefs and Eagles again. Not the matchup we were really hoping to see. But,
No.
I mean, I'm happy the Chiefs. I'm really rooting on the Chiefs still. But to be honest with you, with all the teams that are left right now, the only team I don't want to see in the Super Bowl is the one that had the dominated right now. I don't want to see the Eagles there. I'd like to see Washington win this game. I think it's a cool story to have a rookie go there.
A rookie quarterback versus a team looking for its own piece of history, becoming the first team to three-peat as Super Bowl champions. So there is that storyline there. And you mentioned the hat, and I'll go ahead and I told you there is a story behind this hat. I'm not what you would call a diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan, but this is one of my favorite hats, and the reason being is because my brother bought me this hat for Christmas one year. We had my dad, and I. You had this tradition every year where the three of us would get together, have breakfast, and go Christmas shopping. One particular year, I came across this hat, and I went back and forth as to whether or not I was going to, or buy it or not. And I'm like, no, I better not. It's too close to Christmas. Jeff says, man, you should really just get it. You don't ever buy yourself anything, this, that, and the other thing. So I decided I wasn't going to get it. Well, unbeknownst to me, he had gone in behind me and bought it and gave it to me, and it wound up. It winds up, obviously for obvious reasons. It now has sentimental attachment, and it's one of my favorite hats, and it fits my head good. So I'm here for it. So yeah, with me, there's always a method to the madness. So as the Philadelphia Eagles are marching their way to the field right now, the game is being held at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady have the call on this. We're not going to be able to hear them, and that's probably a blessing in disguise, be that as it may. But that's what you fine folks are tuning in here for, to hear our commentary during this. And you are more than welcome to join the conversation. If you're watching the feed through our Facebook page on the PFC Entertainment Network, you can correspond with us in the live chat. We do get the notifications on our screen, and select messages will be put onto the screen during the live stream here. Um, so the game's about ready to get off here. You don't want to see the Eagles from a fan perspective. You want to see the Commanders advance to the Super Bowl. But if we had to sit here and lock down our picks, you're going with Philadelphia and of course Kansas City for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Philly, honestly, they've been here before. They're a good team. They have one of the best defenses in the league. And they got Saquon Barkley, and they're at home. I'm sure it's probably warmer there this week than it was last week.
I don't see no snow on the ground, that's for sure.
Yeah, but Barkley's he is having an incredible season. MVP, there's talks of him possibly being MVP. I don't think it's going to go to him. But he's having an incredible season, and he's still going against the third worst rushing defense in the league. We saw that last week with the Lions. I wish we would have stuck to the ground a little bit more because Gibbs was tearing these guys up. Every time that he got the ball, we should have stuck with that because he was getting huge yards. But when you're playing from behind, you got to slow it down. I don't think the Eagles are going to be in that position today. I think they're going to be handing off Saquon, letting him just hammer down the field. And they're going to get a comfortable victory in this game. It's going to be a good one. I want to see what Jaden Daniels does. I want to see him get behind, see how he does playing from behind. See how he can handle that pressure, especially in a big game. He doesn't get behind in the score. But yeah, I'm picking Eagles in this one, even though that's not what I want to happen.
No, I hear you. I feel like we are going to have a Philadelphia Buffalo Super Bowl.
And honestly, we've been talking about this all week long. I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm a Chiefs fan.
Right.
Like, Chiefs fan through and through. But at the same time, I am a Josh Allen fan. I mean, I'm not going out to buy Bills here or anything else like that. Bills, but I'm a Josh Allen fan, and I wouldn't be mad at Josh Allen actually getting a chance to win the Super It would be awesome for him. He's a hell of a player, and at least once in his career, I hope that he gets one. I just don't think it's going to happen this year.
I can understand that. We talked a little bit, and I said, well, let's just wait until we go on there to talk about this. The commentary online on the internet, especially when you're talking about the Detroit Lions and them losing last week the way that they did. You got every opinion from everybody under the sun, all these armchair quarterbacks, all these people who, 2 months ago were out there waving the blue and silver flag and, I'm 100% all on board with the Lions. And okay, things did not work out. Well, these are the same sons of bitches that are going to go back online. Oh, this team sucks. This team never had it. Blah 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 blah. It's like, man, you what you're doing, number one, is you're demonstrating your level of commitment to the team. And fundamentally, what you don't understand is you're really putting on full display your commitment as an individual, as a human.
Yeah.
And when I see stuff like that, and I make a point to make note of it, you know what I mean? Especially when somebody's on there constantly and they make a presence onto themselves for one reason or the other, to go the polar opposite of that. I'm like, you've become a hypocrite, you've become disingenuous, and I don't believe a damn thing that you say from here on out. So you might as well just stop. But now we're starting to see, this morning I went online and getting ready to come up here today, here to lightning rounds in Lapeer. And I saw a lot more pro Buffalo posts than I did Kansas City posts. Are you seeing this too, or is it just the way my algorithm is set up?
No, I mean that's pretty much. I see the same thing, and that's because Kansas City is the most hated team in the NFL right now. They are the new Patriots.
Yeah, they are.
They've gotten to that point where they've been so good for so long that people hate them. That's how you know a team is really good, is when so many people hate them. I really did really not bet against the Chiefs. Never bet against Mahomes. Just the last game alone, Chiefs look like they played a different game in the postseason. I don't know what it is with them. I watch them all season long, and it's just like last year. They weren't that great during the season, even though they went 15-2. And honestly, if Mahomes played that last game, they probably won 16-1. They had the best record in the NFL. I mean, tied with the Lions in the regular season. But great team, but they barely win games. And then they come out last week and they won an awesome game. But Kelsey was looking great. I think 137 yards, one touchdown. It's like, do they just sit back and cruise through the regular season and then turn it up in the offseason? I mean, you look at that defense. They got one of the best defenses in the league. They haven't really had any injuries this year.
Right.
I mean, that's contrary to what we've had with the Lions. The Lions went out there and went balls to the wall all season long and just played smash mouth football. But we lost like 18 people on our defense. Our defense just went in shambles. You're talking headlines earlier that I think were like, changing the season or something like that. I think that the biggest headline was touchdown on the Lions.
Yeah.
That one hurt a lot, especially at the end there.
So let me ask you this as a sidebar, because there is another point of conversation I want to have with you concerning the Kansas City Chiefs and a lot of the online banter around them. But you mentioned Aiden Hutchinson. Do you think, had that injury not happened, that the Lions would be playing here today? Do you think he would have made that big of his presence had he not gone down with that gruesome injury? Would that have made a difference in the outcome we saw last week?
I don't know. It's hard to say. He's one person. He's a very pivotal person to the team. I think he's the heart of that defense. But I don't know if it would have made a huge difference just having him back, because you look at the other guys who are missing out that line. Yeah, Nate McNeil was injured. He was Carlton Davis was in that quarter. Amik Robertson was out in that game. Like, there were so many injuries all over that defense that I don't know if touch alone could have made that big of a difference. But I would like to hope so. I think him bringing that energy to defense, even though he was on the sideline, so that's why I don't know because he was on the sideline, kind of taking guys up. So his presence was felt there, just not on the field. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think if you would have had him and Ali McGraw, maybe then I would say for sure,
Mhm.
that could have made a difference in that game. But the one thing that does is it gets me really excited for next season. Having the possibility of having those guys. I mean, I'm looking at the line because we still got Darius Smith for another year. On the opposite end, you have Aiden Hutchinson. In the middle, you can have Kelly McNeil and DJ Reader. Like, that'll probably be the best defensive line in the NFL next season. So it gets me excited about that.
Well, there's a lot of question marks when you start looking at next season surrounding the Detroit Lions. Like we had just mentioned, our offensive and defensive coordinators have taken head coaching jobs elsewhere.
And good for them.
Yeah, for sure. They certainly deserve it. They deserve to have that opportunity. Who knows? These two could become two of the next elite coaches in the National Football League. Well, one thing I want to, as they kick off here in Philadelphia, and the NFC Championship game is now officially underway. Philadelphia kicked off to Washington. Washington wearing their road whites with the maroon pants, maroon helmets, and the Eagles are in their traditional home green jerseys and with the white pants with the green stripe. I hate to bring this up to you because I know it's going to get you fired up, but there is a narrative right now. It's been going on for as long as the season's been going on, but especially with last week. There's a lot of speculation that the referees have a little bit more influence than they probably should in the outcome of Kansas City Chiefs games. People have spent a exorbitant amount of time and down. Wow. And, yeah, he did. Nowhere to go. There is a contingent of the fan base that believe that the referees are having a hand in Kansas City's success. With you being as big of a fan and you actually do pay attention to the team all year round, you're not a fair weather fan. You don't just pay attention to them at this time of the season. You're there from day one. What's your takeaway on this?
It's all BS. To be honest with you, was there some bad calls, especially you go back to last week? There were some bad calls that kind of went Kansas City's way, but more often than not, the calls don't go their way. But people try to pick out all these plays that these calls happen on, and they tend to go towards the Chiefs' way. Granted, we started seeing that with the Lions this season for the first time this year as Lions fans, being one of the better teams in the NFL. You started seeing some of those bad calls go the Lions' way too. I started seeing that same rhetoric being talked about the Lions also. You know what I mean? Anytime that a team is that good, there are fans from opposing teams that find any reason other than the fact that they're that good, that they're that good. You know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
blame the rest for it. Let's do this. This is why the Lions are so good. This is the refs don't know. I've seen just as many, memes with the referee wearing the Kansas City hat throughout the season. I started seeing the same amount of memes with the referee wearing the Lions hat throughout the season. It's a good team, and people try to pick out any reason why they can be good. Now, like I said, there were some bad calls last week, but I think there was two of them. Would that have changed the outcome of the game last week? No. Chiefs were still winning that game regardless.
Right. Well, it's 2nd and 10 now. Quick pass and man, I'll tell you what, Philadelphia's defense is got them kind of pegged here the first couple of plays. Now, I mean, they've been able to pick up a first down, but
We'll see what he does in the second. And I've said for a long time this season that Steelers probably got the best defense in the league.
mhm.
That defense is outstanding, but you just got to figure out how to beat it.
Right.
And let's see what Jaden Daniels does.
Once again, we are live at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. If you are in the area, come on out, grab some dinner, hang out with Tim and I. You could be a part of the show. We have open mics live, as it were. If you're watching us through the live stream on Facebook or YouTube or Riverside.fm, you can be a part of the conversation through the live chat. Uh, Let us know what you think, how you're feeling about this game, about the AFC Championship that's going to be coming up next. It's scheduled for 6 o'clock between Buffalo and Kansas City. But right now, it looks like another second down here for Washington. You talk about the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. Certainly, one certainly one of the strongest defenses that Washington has seen this year, and this is what's really going to test this rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I think this is going to be. I mean, this is an elite defense, and he's going to have to move the ball around like he did last weekend. I want to see what he can do when he starts scrambling. Still, he's kind of counter that, but at the same time, Washington's already seen these guys twice this year.
Right.
So they know what to do. I mean, this is the divisional matchup. Like these guys know each other well. It might end up being a little bit closer game than what I anticipated to begin with because of that. But I still have Philly coming up more than just that. Like Philly wants to get back in the Super Bowl. They feel like they missed their chance a couple years ago against Kansas City. And they're going to face Kansas City in the Super Bowl again this year. I mean, that was almost picked.
That was almost picked, yeah.
And they're going to lose once again to Kansas City in the Super Bowl this year. I'm calling that. But like I said, if Kansas City loses that, the Buffalo goes. I think whoever wins in that AFC Championship game tonight is going to be the winners of the Super Bowl. That's how I feel. I don't think that anybody in the NFC, other than, and I hate to say other than the Lions, offensively can match up with the defenses in that AFC.
It is 4th and 5 now, and Washington has elected to go for it. They've been 6 of 9 in 4th down conversions in the postseason, and he gets another one there. I guess at this point, you know, when you have a berth to the Super Bowl on the line, you're going to pull out all the stops. If there's a slight chance, they're going to take these chances, especially a young team like the Commanders here.
Well, I honestly think too. I think the head coach Dan Quinn has taken a few pointers from playing Dan Campbell so many times. It's a little exciting about players like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was a. Do you think there was an influence? How much of the trick plays that Detroit has been known for? You're starting to see a couple other teams start toying around with different flashy plays and stuff like that. And you know, here in Detroit, like we've seen that a few times now, and now you're starting to see other teams try it. But again, man, like it all comes down to today. It is win or go home, and when you win, you're going to the Super Bowl.
My question is, do you think we're going to see as many trick plays now that Ben Johnson's gone? You know, that was his biggest input about it was the creative offense. But they're not the only team that's ever done it. The Chiefs have been doing it for years, and it's kind of funny. And I think Dan Campbell should take a little idea off of Andy Reid there and how they come up with them. It's not really the offensive coordinator. The players usually come up with all those trick plays. They mess around at practice and they try different things out, and they go, oh, they might actually work in a game. They implement that. And they practice it for good. Like the players come up with all the crazy stuff out there. So they're just out there playing like school year football and practice.
Right. 4th and 2 now. Washington met with another 4th down. They tried a pass play, quickly broken up there on that last go around.
Yeah, you need to establish the run against these guys if you want to change.
This is the 43rd play of this, or I'm sorry, the 43rd play.
He's got it. That's what you have to watch out for. His shoes go.
Yep. ran right out of his damn shoes is what he did right there, but he was able to pick up the first down. Washington slowly but surely marching down the field here, over 5 minutes time of possession with this opening drive. The one thing I've noticed so far, he's Daniels I'm talking about, he's remained pretty calm. There hasn't been a lot of panic shown yet.
Not yet.
The,
I want to see him go down by 2 touchdowns and see how he reacts then.
handoff play there, got a couple of yards, maybe 1.5. Second down now.
They haven't established that yet. Like they really got to try to get the run game running to be able to get the passing game going. All of that's the first time seeing the
Mhm.
that I've seen. I haven't been full attention to keep it down.
Yeah, we are actually watching the game on the big screen here at Lightning Round, so that's why we're not looking right into the camera as much as we usually do. Oh, he got it there, and just short. Yeah, a yard short of the first down. Good completion there, man. Oh no, he did not grab it. Yeah, he dropped it. He dropped the ball before he had the possession of it. As it played live, we didn't see that, but on the replay, yeah, 3rd and 9 now. 16 plays on this drive for 48 yards. Now 6.5 minutes in this drive. Daniels fires it, completed. He's gonna come up to another 4th down. Are they gonna go for it again, you think? Nope, looks like they're bringing out the field goal unit.
I'm surprised they didn't.
I kind of am too. It's 4th and 3 now, but they have elected to send the field goal unit out in an attempt to get the first points on the board for Washington. How important is it to score first, especially in a game that is this high stakes?
Really important, to be honest. We need to put points on the board because you know that the Eagles are going to come right back down the field and put points on the board. And I would say it's going to be fairly quickly.
Yep, he did knock it in. It is now 3-0. Washington gets a field goal out of their initial drive here. So yeah, a pretty decent look for Daniels in his first NFC Championship appearance here. He seems pretty poised, but like you said, Tim, it's going to be real interesting if Washington goes down 2+ touchdowns and see how he responds to that.
Really starts getting you. Because at that point, you're playing from behind. That's when you start making mistakes. We saw that with the Lions game last weekend. We saw that also with the Baltimore game. When you get behind like that, you make little mistakes and you try to push the ball down the field. You feel like you have to score because your defense isn't stopping them at all. You know they get the ball back, they're going to score. So you have to make something happen. That's when mistakes happen. I want to see how he reacts in those situations.
Yeah, it's this. It's cool. It's cool when you get new crops of talent in the NFL that's really starting to emerge from the rest of the pack, and a lot of different things have to come into play in order to have that kind of success. Jaden Daniels being the rookie quarterback. We've talked about a lot of rookies this year on the show. We talked about Caleb Williams. We've talked about several other people. Yeah. And then you start to see glimpses of greatness from a very early age. And I think about, is this going to be, are we looking at the start of the next era of new quarterbacks, the new faces of the National Football League? And I mean,
it was a good year for quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, it certainly is. Did I hear, and I know this is a sidebar, but you talked about the draft, and I thought about Detroit hosted the draft here this last year. Is Chicago hosting it this year?
I think Green Bay.
Was it Green Bay? I knew
Green Bay.
one of the two. Yeah.
Which is so odd because Green Bay is like for the stadium, like, it's a tiny little town.
Right.
There's like just a stadium.
Green Bay is just weird anyway, but
Yeah.
be that as it may. What I do appreciate about Green Bay, the one thing that I can appreciate about Green Bay is that the team, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, the team is actually owned by fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a legitimate ownership stake in what happens with that team, and I wish more teams adopted that philosophy.
It's a smart move. To be
Yeah.
honest. But a lot of teams are. There's a lot of owners out there who don't want to give up any bit of control.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. You see their hire? They hired their OC
Yeah.
as coach.
Yeah.
See how that's going to work.
Well, they're going to pick up right where they left off,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Like that was a good.
So now we're going to see the Philadelphia offense for the first time today. Jalen Hurts is calling the game here. There was some speculation this week because apparently he is injured, but he is out here. And I was watching, I think it was ESPN this morning, and somebody was on there talking about the most dangerous player to look out for in any sport is the injured player. And oh my God, just
All
like
they have
that.
to do is just hand the ball. That guy's that's their whole offense. Actually, he was. I mean, we want to talk about headlines. Let's talk about the headline that came out that Saquon Barkley was going to.
Yeah.
That was a game changer for the Eagles this year because honestly, if he didn't go there, that team wouldn't even be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley runs it in, and very quickly, Philadelphia has answered with a touchdown. That was the first play, wasn't it?
Yeah, I told you it was going to happen fast. It just had to feel like
What?
That's the thing you're talking about, and that's what our game plan should have been against them. It's the third worst rushing defense in the league. Washington cannot stop the run. So just run out. And they just proved it right there. Like, Saquon's going to do that again.
Yep.
He's going to eat them up again. That's going to be their game plan. Until they get about. I don't know. Let's see how. I want to see how Washington responds right here. If they respond well, they can stay in. But if they don't, then
I'll be honest. I was like, I'm glad I looked back up because otherwise I would have completely missed that and not known what the hell was going on. Yeah, and I was with you. Like this, they were going to score quickly. I thought it was going to take more than one play though. But much like you're saying, they just exploited Washington's Achilles heel. And if they continue to do that, Saquon Barkley is going to have a career game here today.
Yeah, he very well could. But he needs to stay healthy in this game, too. You run too much, you get hurt. You don't want that to happen. I think people realize how rough it is. Like, those guys get knocked out hard.
Right.
All game long. And you still need this guy to Super Bowl. Gotta take it easy with them.
7-3 now. Philadelphia leads the Washington Commanders very early on here in the NFC Championship game. While they are on a commercial break, why don't we go? I'll go ahead and make mention of this. Check out the online store of the PFC network, pfcstore.printify.me. A lot of new merchandise dropped over the weekend, and we're getting ready for our big spring merchandise drop that's going to happen on Valentine's Day. That's where you're going to see a slew of new baseball jerseys, hats, ringer t-shirts, and those 3/4 raglan baseball type looking shirts, all with Sports Reel Podcast. I think has jumped up to have the most merchandise of any show. Well, we are. It's easy because we have our logo in a variety of colors. Most of them are centered around the Michigan-based teams. You know,
Except for Casey.
well,
They always do Casey.
listen, I had to make one there for you for sure. I took that very much into consideration. What you won't see is crimson and red or crimson and gray. You won't see any shit like that. At least I mean, if there's an overwhelming response for it or demand for it, well, I might think about it. But before, listen, we're trying to appeal to all the fan bases. So along those lines, if somebody from, let's say, that skate down below us, if they were to offer us an invite to come broadcast at one of their venues, you wouldn't go?
Yes. No, I don't. But
Okay, opening drive stats here. Washington 18 plays, time of possession 7 minutes. They got 3 points out of that.
yeah,
Philadelphia, one play, 26 seconds, comes away with a touchdown. So that
this is where Washington can get you too. Look at, I mean, you just look up the amount of time that Washington's had the ball already in that first quarter. They burned up almost half the quarter
yeah.
in one drive. That's how they got us too. To be honest with you, they possessed the ball way longer than you needed them to possess the ball. And if you can do that, you can slow these games down, keep them in your favor. They're doing good. If they score right here, they're going to be up by 3.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're going to score here. I don't know. I really, it's really up to how Jay Daniels adapts here. Like, he adapted well against Detroit when he went down, and then he got right on the head, and he just stayed playing at the whole time. So let's see what they do.
Looks like he might just be a hair or two short of the first down here. I believe it's going to bring up third down for the Commanders. 3rd and 1, as a matter of fact. And again, we are coming to you live from Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. If you are in the area, come on out. Let's watch the game together. We have open mics here. If you want to be a part of the show, be a part of the conversation, we would love to have you. Love to meet you guys. A couple of families are in here right now enjoying some lunch or early dinner. And then they're going to take it to the ground and pick up that first down.
I would just keep trying.
Keep it on the ground.
Yeah. Keep it on the ground and try to just establish that run. You pick up the first down. I'd keep it right on the ground right there. Early ball came out.
Oh, you're here.
All right, let's see.
All right.
That was a big mistake right there.
I missed it. All I heard was turnover.
Yeah, he got a touchdown right here.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep. There's that Philadelphia defense. Kaboom. And it looks like we may be getting a run-in of sorts by Amy Sheridan, host of the Real Podcast. Hello, Amy Sheridan.
Hello. You missed it because of me. It was my fault.
It's all right. I wasn't here to point fingers.
I just wanted to let everybody know. It was me.
Well,
My fault.
listen, you asked me a question. I didn't want to leave you hanging, so I had to find my spot, I didn't want you to think you were being ignored. I do appreciate your sweatshirt, though.
Thanks.
I've not seen one like that.
I like it.
I do, too. Less is more.
Yes.
Less is more. That's always my philosophy when I'm making new merchandise. So, yeah, we're going to see real quick here. I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to get tested real early as to what makes an elite quarterback in the NFL. He did pretty well in his opening drive. They got the field goal. But with the turnover there and Philadelphia taking over here, It's going to really, and if Philadelphia is able to score on this opportunity, then we're going to see real quick the composure of this rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I want to see what Philly does in this one. Try to draw this quarter. I don't think he's going to try to punch it again. But I have a feeling first play is going to be hitting the back off the circle. Let's see what Saquon can do 2 times in the game. If he does it again, this game's over.
Yeah, I would have to agree with
They
that.
have no chance to stop.
I mean, it's almost one of those things. Look, if this is the way it's going to go, and he scores in 1 or 2 plays, we might as well just pack up and go the fuck home. I mean, we won't. I mean, we're going to be here, but still, at the same time, above everything else, and I think that's why a lot of people are focusing on the AFC Championship game later on this evening. Um, on paper, like there is a rivalry between Buffalo and Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say that there's not between Washington and Philadelphia because they're both in the NFC East. But on paper, it just seems like we're going to see a better balanced game between the Bills and the Chiefs than we see here because a lot of people, we expected, Tim and I especially, but outside of the state of Michigan, we kind of low key expected an Eagles Lions NFC title game.
That's what we're hoping for.
And I mean, we were calling that 2-3 months ago, this is the way it's going to be. And I don't think a lot of people are really giving Washington a fighting chance. And I mean, unless you are a diehard or you live in the New England area, then obviously you're going to be more dialed into what the Commanders are doing. But so far you could already see the frustration that is coming out on the sidelines of Washington. Brother, they're not even out of their first quarter yet.
Oh, we start making turnovers like that. You're going to give up. This is going to be one of those games where they need to put points on the board every time they get the ball. And if they don't, they're not going to win this game. I mean, no.
Right.
They had the opposite feeling that they had in Detroit. In Detroit, they knew that they were going to score every time they got it. Now they need to score every time they got it. And you already feel that pressure building up in the 16 states. I just watched the beach ball flip across the screen.
They're going to the air, and it looks like he did he make that catch?
That was good.
Oh, they're calling it. Oh, man.
Okay. It's let's see what I'm on. That should be called back. It was there.
No, they gave it to him. First and 10.
I don't know why he didn't challenge that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, now you're starting to see the interdivisional animosity start coming out now. Washington is getting very frustrated.
What do you think of Sirianni as a coach?
I think he's done a decent job. I don't. He's not somebody where I root against him necessarily. I think he's done okay.
Because every year it always starts out, seems like Philly fans are crazy to begin with. They're like Buffalo fans. If you saw those two in the Super Bowl, New Orleans would probably be on fire by the time that Super Bowl is over. But like Philly fans, they start out the season always calling for him to be playing.
Right.
And then they start liking him. They start doing Barkley.
Another touchdown for Barkley.
Yeah. They're already. This is what I'm talking about. They're going to be up by 14 already. Let's see how Daniels reacts being down by 2 touchdowns.
Barring or pending, I guess I should say, pending the extra point, and it's going to be a 14-3 lead for the Philadelphia Eagles here. Very quickly, they have been dominant right out of the gate here. They're setting up for the extra point right now. Tim, I didn't hear the weather report in Philadelphia. Did you?
No, I did not. But I will look it up real quick.
The
Let's see.
the flags on the uprights are not moving. Oh man, it looks like they may have made that right call, man. He really rode that razor's edge.
Yeah. Oh,
3:43 left to play in the first quarter, and the Eagles with a 14-3 lead here. I'll also make a quick programming note for the PFC network. This coming Friday, Fatal Four Way will be back live on ONTV, and it will be our special Royal Rumble preview episode that will be held the very next day, February the 1st, in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium.
what is it? Is that next weekend?
Next Saturday. Yes,
Saturday,
sir.
Royal Rumble?
Yes, sir.
I'm excited about that.
I am too. It's one of the bigger events of the year for WWE. Look, I know we're talking about the NFC Championship, but we've got 4 hours to fill here, so we're going to be all over the place. But it is the road to WrestleMania does start on February the 1st at the Royal Rumble. Of course, the winner of both the men's and the women's Royal Rumble matches will be moving on to WrestleMania to face the world champion of their choosing. And some other big matches have been signed. A ladder match for the WWE Championship between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens will be taking place. And Michigan's own Motor City Machine Guns.
How have they been doing?
They very quickly won the WWE Tag Team Championship, lost them a couple weeks after the fact, but at the Royal Rumble, they will be in a best 2 out of 3 falls match against current champions Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano DIY. So they're still being featured, and this is going to be a very big pay-per-view opportunity for them. We're going to be breaking all that down this Friday on ONTV beginning at 6 p.m. You can watch the show live at facebook.com/OrionONTV. Phone lines will be open. You can call in and be a part of the conversation live on the air. So very much looking forward to that with my good friends Brian Ball, Waddell Edwards, and of course Hall of Famer Sean Grugel. So looking forward to talking about the Royal Rumble this Friday. But we're back here in Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field. Speaking of, it's kind of a sidebar. This is where they had WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, which I was surprised by. By the way, 42 degrees. I think 10-mile-an-hour winds out of the west.
Okay.
So nothing crazy.
Yeah.
42 degrees. That's got 40 feet.
You ain't kidding. Especially when you look at the conditions they had last week.
Yeah, snow game.
Yeah. You can actually see more green than white on the field here this week. So I mean that's a good sign. And it looks like Barkley is on the exercise bike. First player all time with 2 rushing touchdowns in 3 games versus the same opponent. Interesting stat there, thanks to our friends at Fox Sports.
Yeah, this is a career year for this kid. Like, you don't know how many more he's gonna have in a month.
Right.
He's not old, but he's not young anymore either. He's been in the league for a little while. Hopefully he gets some more years like this. But this is the first time he's been on a team with an actual offensive line, an actual good team. So he's getting to show up this year. It's been a great year for him. He's been fun to watch.
He really has. You talk about, Mondays, especially when they do any sports show does a big recap of the weekend before. It seems like every single Monday we were talking about this kid for some reason or another. He really has become a marquee player, not just for the Eagles, but for the entire league.
See, they're trying to establish that run right now.
No.
That's the thing. I mean, big props to the Eagles defense. They are just completely shut down. It's so crazy. And I wonder how many fans out there right now are rooting against Washington more than rooting for Philly, especially Lions fans going, I don't want to see Washington win because
Right. But
oh,
man,
I
almost
don't
yeah.
even know what he was doing there. Like, that's what I said. When you start playing from behind, you start making stupid mistakes. We just threw into triple coverage. They didn't come close to us. Like, not at all. Now it's a punt already.
4th and 6 now, and they are going to have to punt this away.
They look like the damn Lions did last week. Like, what is going on?
You know, it's, ironically, we sat here 2 weeks ago and said, look, the Detroit Lions gave the Rams the blueprint on how to beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Now it seems like a lot of what we saw in the Detroit game, we're starting to see here. Just the roles are reversed a little bit. You're starting to see from a fake, and he got
God, Dan Quinn just studies Dan Campbell quite a bit.
yeah. Looked like they were going for a punt. It was a fake, and he did execute the pass. He did pick up the first down, and what? No, looked very awkward. Yeah. But they took a chance, and in this particular instance, it paid off. And then Washington really needed that first down. I feel like if they actually punted it away, it was really going to really affect the overall mood. I mean, they're already rattled.
Yeah.
You can tell by the body language, and Daniel scrambling now out of the pocket, and down he goes. Yep. Big loss there for the Commanders. Philadelphia's defense just all over them. Yeah, had absolutely nowhere to go.
I don't ever like to call a game that is. I think you can call a game already in this one. He's right.
2nd and 16 now, and that did, and he did pick up the first down.
Dangerous.
Very.
We put that between two defenders.
Much.
Three defenders, really.
Yeah. But
that's one that was not popular. Is he just that good?
Nah, we're gonna go with luck on that one. I mean, just a split second sooner or later, and somebody would have picked that off for sure. This is going nowhere.
And you know, I have to say, like right now, I'm sitting there talking and I'm listening to myself in my own head. And I was like, I'm probably sounding like a Jaden Daniels hater. I'm not. I want to make that clear. Like, I think he is a great rookie quarterback with a very bright future, and he's going to make the NFC, you know, pretty competitive for a long time. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see how he progresses in years 2, 3, 4. You know, see, like, I don't want to see him have that, you know, sophomore, you know, dive, dip,
Slump, yeah.
Slump that some of his quarterbacks get. He's a great quarterback. He's fun to watch. He's exciting. Am I a little bitter because he beat the Lions? Sure. I mean, it's only 8 days out from that. I'm still, you know, still bitter about it, but I'm getting over it every day. I've been going to group meetings. I've been talking to my therapist. My therapist is really helping me get over it. And I think I'm starting to become accepting of the fact that the Lions are no longer in it this season. And yeah, so is that great? My wife.
I was just going to say, I wish we had a camera on Amy's face because. But I mean, you talked about this last week. You know that I think part of what softens that blow for you is that you are a legitimate fan of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
So you still have a dog in the hunt, as they say.
And hopefully they stay in. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, get the therapist on speed dial or something because Well, I'm just saying, prepare yourself because once Buffalo wins tonight, I don't don't be anywhere near the Sheridan household.
No, actually, like I said, I would be okay. To be honest, like, would it be a little upsetting if they lose tonight? Sure, I'll get it. You know, and I'll be rooting on the Bills. Chase told me earlier that if Washington won this game, he wanted to make Chase likes collecting jerseys.
My son did too. When he was younger, we got him all kinds of football jerseys, and then he shifted his focus over to baseball. So now it's all about baseball. Make no mistake, he's watching this. Austin's watching this, and he said, much like what to echo what you said earlier at the start of the broadcast here, whoever wins the AFC championship is winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it is AFC's title to win this year. It's just a matter if it's Buffalo or Kansas City.
If you really look at it, you go back like the last 20 years, the AFC has pretty much dominated the Super Bowl over the last 20 years. Whether it's been the Patriots, the Chiefs, they've won the majority of the Super Bowls. Like, AFC is just pretty dominant over the NFC. Maybe we'll see a switch in the next coming years with the Lions. I fully believe in all the fair weather fans getting it over. Lions are going to be back next year. They're going to be even better than they were this year. And I think they are a team at the top of the NFC. I just don't think we have a team left in it this year that can do that. Whether it's the Bills or the Chiefs, those two teams are just absolutely elite. I know that Philly has an elite running back, but Jalen Hurts is not an elite running back. But I think they could do
Really?
Jalen Hurts is not good.
God damn. You're about ready to start a.
I have friends that are Philly fans. They don't even like Jalen Hurts.
For any particular reason?
He's not good.
Just because he's not good.
He chokes in the playoffs. He's not a very good player. He started out good, but he doesn't even really run the ball as well as he used to. The only thing he's good at is getting pushed across the for a 1 yard drill. That's what Jalen Hurts is the tush push. That's it. He can be pushed for 1 yard to gain a touchdown, but he's not good. He's kind of like, how many Dallas fans do you know that hate Dak Prescott?
Well, that's a difficult question to ask because I don't know any Dallas fans.
Almost all the Dallas fans I know hate Dak Prescott. It's just one of those quarterbacks that you dislike, and it's because they choke in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're not really that outstanding. Philly's good because their defense is good, and because they got Saquon Barkley, and they have AJ Brown and everything else. I mean, you look at Jalen Hurts; he's had big weapons as receivers, and they still haven't been able to win. Now they have Saquon. They can run it again. If they didn't have Saquon this year, they wouldn't be in this position right now. Like, in all honesty, they'd be in the same position where they were last year, where they were in the playoffs, they won. They just didn't have the weapon. Now they have an elite run game, and they've been using it. I mean, he's been averaging almost 200 yards a game this season. Like, that's outstanding.
We are now in the second quarter, 14-42 in the second quarter, and it really went well. Yeah, Washington ate up 7 minutes of it, and then very quickly, Philadelphia scored on that run by Barkley, and then, here we are.
Well, we're in the second quarter before it gets up crazy. I need to break for a moment.
Sure.
I will be back in a moment, and we'll get right back to it.
Sounds good. And Washington was able to get a field goal out of that last possession, and they are now down 14-6 in the second quarter. It's going to be very interesting. The tide is, you can kind of tell right now, the tide is trying to shift one way or the other. Philadelphia they have a presence right now, and their demeanor is much more composed, much more dominant than that of Washington's at this point. Philadelphia now with 1st and 10. Looks to be on the 28-yard line. Oh, man. Hurts hands it off, and quickly Barkley is gobbled up. I think they may have lost a few yards on that play. It's going to bring up 2nd down. You're starting to see a lot of these nagging injuries that Philadelphia has been dealing with is really starting to come to the surface. Seems like with every other shot that's not on the field, it's on a sideline on one of the players, and they're doing something to keep something loose. A lot of that attention right now on Saquon Barkley. It's like Tim was saying, like he is the team right now. He's the one who is making all the moves. He's the one scoring the points. Big reception there from Jalen Hurts. It's going to pick up a 1st down. It's going to take him down to about the 40-yard line, a little more than the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 now. Oh, man, the pocket collapsed. Hurts is on the run, throws it, and no, just out of the reach. Brown was looking for a flag for pass interference. I don't think he's going to get it. One more time, we want to make mention. We want to thank the fine people here at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan, for having us out here today to broadcast during the NFC Championship game. And let's not forget, one more game is going to happen tonight. We will not be live streaming that, but you will see the AFC Championship game between the Bills and the Chiefs. CBS is going to be covering that starting at 6 p.m. So at the conclusion of the NFC Championship, head over to CBS and you will see the second half of the double main event, as it were, for Championship Sunday here in the NFL. 14-6 now. Washington trying to find some answers here. Philadelphia has been pretty dominant right out of the gate here. 2nd and 15. It is Eagles ball. Quick pass. Looks like I think it might be Brown again that gets the reception. Nope, I was wrong. So yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see, what happens in the offseason with the Detroit Lions. And Tim and I were talking a little bit ago, like what are we going to do once the Super Bowl is done and over with? And it's like, well, there's always the UFL, I think I made mention of it last week. I'm like, well, maybe we can make contact with the Michigan Panthers, which is part of the UFL, and they play at Ford Field here in Detroit, Michigan. I did send an email out. I don't know how I don't know how that's going to all work out, but we have initiated contact and try to get something rolling for a live event. I think it'd be really cool to be able to broadcast from Ford Field in Detroit. And not only that, but to put a lot more spotlight on the Michigan Panthers, on the UFL, because it's still a very young league, that merger between XFL and the USFL. And of course, that's owned.
The second,
That is not Tim.
Nope, next one over. Basically, real life.
Hi, Amy.
I don't know what you're talking about. My name is Tim Sheridan.
Oh, you're fucking killing me. Are you kidding me?
Why would you even say that?
Well, we're seeing
Fuck Jalen Hurts.
we're seeing kind of a one-sided game here right now between the Eagles and the Commanders. Do you have a favorite in this?
I don't really have a favorite, but I was kind of hoping, since the Washington Commanders did beat our team, that they would be the Eagles.
Okay.
But like, I don't really care about any of these teams.
Just
None of
Kansas
them.
City.
Just Kansas City, but I'm okay if Kansas City does lose. I mean, I'll be like a little bit sad, but if Kansas City does lose, I still have Josh Allen in there. I don't know if I'm echoing. I feel like I'm echoing a lot.
A little bit, but it'll work itself out in the post.
I hope so, because that sounds stupid.
No.
I mean, like, I hope Kansas City wins. I think a 3-peat would be amazing.
It's going to be amazing when it happens.
How come you're not echoing?
I don't know.
What kind of shit is
need to
that?
Get closer to the mic, I think.
I think I need to get closer
Yes,
to the mic.
there you go.
That's what it is.
Well, crap.
Yeah.
It's because it was picking up on both mine and yours.
Well,
But hey, I'm just happy that you're here.
I'm happy that I'm here too.
What are you drinking over there?
It is a glass of sweet red, but it was like,
This is what it would sound like if we were in the football stadium.
Yeah.
Not mad about it.
it's like Swan Lake or Clear Lake or some shit. Sweet red wine.
Right.
Okay.
It's just wine. Wine.
What did you wind up getting, Tim?
It's just Coors Light.
Oh, that's what's on draft. I feel like I need to get one though.
I feel like I need to get some mushrooms. I was going to ask you earlier if you
Like
wanted
magic
some mushrooms.
What kind of
No,
mushrooms?
fried
We
mushrooms.
can make it through this game.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, you hear Amy on the Real podcast, and
Which will be coming back this week, by the way.
yes, yeah, we're going to be getting back on track to get that show back on the air.
My break is over officially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys.
Oh
some
man, I got
stuff
so
up?
much shit to talk about. So much shit. Look at those two fucking goofballs up on the screen.
See, this is
Tom Brady and stupid face.
Yeah, his stupid face. I fucking hate Tom Brady and his ugly ass butt chin.
my goodness. Why don't you tell me how you really feel about him? Did you feel that way about him when he was a player too?
Yeah, I did not like
No, you weren't. a
fucking
fan?
Tom Brady. I hate him with every ounce of my being. I think he is so overrated. And I just want to carve his face off with a spoon.
Oh, where were you at on Tom Brady, Tim? Were you a fan?
No,
No.
not at all. I can appreciate him as a player. I can appreciate what he's done for the game.
I
do
can't.
think he was the greatest of all time.
No,
At that position until
incorrect,
Patrick
sir.
Mahomes takes that position over from him. But I was not a fan of his person. Patriots, not my team, like, at all. I think that's why I didn't like him. The same reason that people don't like KC now and hate Mahomes. He
Yeah.
was just too good.
I don't understand that though.
Why people hate Mahomes?
Yeah,
He's too good.
he's so
You
cute.
get to a
I just
level
love
of-
him.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if he's cute.
Yeah, you get to a level of greatness that you're so great. Oh,
Just
did you miss
missed,
that?
missed a 54-yard field goal attempt.
That was a good stand by Washington right there.
Yeah, it really was.
Slow to bleed.
They
But
needed that.
yeah, back to it. I think you get to a level of greatness that you become so good that people hate you for being that good.
I don't think that was Tom Brady's case. I'm sorry.
You think it was just the chin?
I think that it was the fact that he was dating Giselle Bundchen or whatever the fuck her name is, Butchin.
Giselle Butchin. Maybe that's why I married her, because he has butt chin. and her last name is
Probably.
Butchin.
Probably. I think he's just dumb with a stupid looking face. That's all.
Well, in case you were wondering on what Amy felt like in terms of Tom Brady being the greatest of all time,
Not.
thanks for clearing that up.
No problem.
You talked about the narrative people turning on a team once they become really good.
Yeah.
You started to see that. We see that now with Kansas City. We saw it for the longest time with New England. We started to see that with the Lions this year. You started to see a contingent of NFL fans being, all of a sudden they became kind of like the NFL version of the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, we're paying attention, but we don't want to pay attention, and you guys are good, you're beating our teams, and now they become the enemy. You know, and it made me wonder if they had gone to the Super Bowl, would those people have gotten back on the bandwagon to support the Lions to their first ever Super Bowl appearance. The only NFC team to have never appeared in a Super Bowl. Do you think that narrative would have changed if they had gone to the Super Bowl, or would we have gotten the Bad Boys treatment?
Probably still Bad Boys treatment.
Yeah.
To be honest, they were just at that. I mean, but they were playing so aggressive this year too. That's part of the reason why they got that. You know, they were starting to get that moniker because they were playing so well. They have this thing with injuring other players because they play so aggressive. So that's why they get it. But I was actually reading this stat today. Actually, came across it. Did you know the Lions this season were the most watched football team in the league?
Yeah.
Like they killed everybody else. Like they are the highest rated people in the team in the league this year. Like more people watch the Lions than any of them. Like more than the Chiefs, more than the Bills. More than all these elite teams, the Lions were America's team this year and improved it with the ratings.
And that's why you started to see more of their games being flexed to prime time, or they were scheduled to be part of the prime time. They were on several Sunday night games. They were on Monday night.
Which in turn you'll see that next year they'll get the majority of the prime time spots without having to be fixed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to really keep an eye on. I think that's why the NFL does the scheduling the way it does. Like they'll schedule the first handful of weeks what games are going to be on prime time, and as the season starts to take shape, who's good, who's not, then they start flexing so they'll get that all-important viewership ratings.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fact remains that everyone loves an underdog story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that is a.
We were shit for so long until we weren't shit.
Well, apparently, according to half the internet, we still are.
Oh, fuck them. They're all Tom Brady lovers.
A lot of them probably were.
They probably were.
You know, you get a lot of people, especially from Michigan, that were Tom Brady lovers because he played for the University of Michigan.
Not I.
Right up because you're a Spartan fan.
I fucking hate the Spartans too. No apparent. No. Sorry.
So who do you cheer for?
Michigan.
But you didn't root for Brady?
No.
Even when he played for them?
No.
So your disdain for him just goes way back.
Yeah, I just don't like him.
Just don't like him as a human.
No.
Okay.
Chin.
He's not even a human. He's a fucking robot.
You know, the funny thing is, she talks about his butt chin and how much she hates it. She was always a Travolta fan. And he's like,
That's a different kind of butt chin.
Okay, now you, as the Eagles take a 14-6 lead here with 7.5 minutes left in the second, you've got to expand on that because John Travolta is the definition of butt chin. How are you going to like him, but not Mr. Brady?
Okay, so at least John Travolta can dance. This echo is killing me. It is killing me.
you gotta get close to this thing.
Hello. It's still echoing. It's Jason's fault.
Usually is. Yeah.
Because I can hear you echo too. I keep hearing my voice like 3 times.
Cut my mic real quick, see if it takes it away. No,
Does it?
there.
Okay, that actually cut one of the echoes.
One echo.
We didn't have echo earlier. Where did we fucking echo that from
I
now?
don't know.
I didn't even touch anything.
Oh, Washington's back in.
See if that helps.
I'm sure it does. It does.
Oh, hold on. Did she click the mic on the?
You
Okay.
sat there and watched me do it.
I didn't do it. That's where our echo was. She turned my mic on. That's why I had the mic turned off on that because you were being picked up in the computer.
Yeah, you guys are-
When we're all live over here.
This
That
sounds so
explains
much
it.
better.
There we go. Now I can put this back on. I wasn't. I didn't have my headphones on because the echo was so bad.
So yeah, John Travolta. My whole crush with John Travolta started with Staying Alive and Saturday Night Fever,
Mhm.
and I know that like I shouldn't know what those movies are. But they were like my favoriteest movies growing up. And he could actually dance. I'm going nuts and nobody knows why. But yeah, I loved him, and I started collecting all of his movies, and then I found out that he was a Scientologist,
Yeah.
and once I found that out, it was like, no, I don't either. At all.
No?
No.
Don't watch anything he's in now?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Like still Staying Alive. It's still like Staying Alive is probably like my all-time favorite movie.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's so bizarre. I know it is, but it's so good.
I'm
Have
glad.
you seen it?
Yeah, once. That's.
It's like dun,
Are you,
dun,
you talking about Staying Alive or Saturday Night Fever?
no, Staying Alive.
Okay.
Because he was in that Broadway production
Okay.
with the devil
Mm-hmm.
and that British chick
Mm-hmm.
that was like super hot.
I just want to make sure you didn't get them confused.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the dun.
With the disco and the Bee Gees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bee Gees, I love them.
Yo, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna run a quick timeout real quick, and we will be right back.
Right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me get my
You want to click off the camera there, sweetie. Just the camera, not the mic. Leave the mic off. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
yeah, no kidding. Meanwhile, we will throw this graphic up real quick because later on today is the AFC Championship game,
Which is a game I'm looking forward to.
and we will be back right after this.
talk about the Super Bowl halftime show yet?
Have we talked about it? No. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh no, I just started. Are you guys on?
They can hear it. But they can't see me. They don't see.
They hear us the whole time.
No,
Oh, no, bless you.
no. we're-
I was like, oh my god. I'm
No.
sitting here talking about my mom.
I know.
No, the mics are off.
No, we are back on, and I assure you, everything was shut down. Everything.
My heart.
Uh-oh. I know.
Welcome back to Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. Tim Sheridan, Jason Klaus, Sports Real podcast, live on location during the NFC Championship game. And Tim, Washington is trying to make this a game.
Yeah, they are. Not surprised, but I anticipate Philly scoring on this trip. Hold on.
Oh, man.
Was that a catch?
No,
No.
he dropped it there. Barkley was the intended receiver there. Couldn't pull it in. It
That's
is,
a nice blitz right there.
Mhm.
Deep side blitz. Set the corner in. Right there.
it's going to bring up 4th and 5 now.
Would they go for it? I would. Why
Yeah.
not?
Might as
I
well.
just give the ball to Barkley. Just run them. You know, that's the one thing that they've gotten away from. Like, I haven't been seeing them running the ball. This is why people don't like Jalen Hurts. Right there. Trash. Chase calls him Jalen Dirt. He hates Jalen Hurts.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, this is bad. Like,
The-
what the hell is this? It worked.
Oh, man, it
It
did.
worked, but he just floated one out there. That's dangerous.
Brown is low key having himself a day here.
Brown's an elite receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad.
They're going to be coming up to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. But you know what started out, you know, it looked like a very dominant. Looked like this game was going to be over before it really started. But Washington is starting to make a game out of this thing now.
Yeah, I mean they're a good team. They're a really good team. They wouldn't be in this position right now if they weren't a good team. So I can't knock them too much, but they're going to make this a game. Let's see how the second half goes. Let's see where it goes. I think they're going to go down right here again. Right here, 7 points. And I want to see what they can in the second half. I secretly, deep down, want to see a Washington win because at the beginning of this game,
Right.
there was a lot of people who don't want them to win because they got the lines up. But my dislike for Philly pushes me enough to want Washington to win this game. I just don't think it's realistic.
Thank you. Well, we are going to be looking ahead when they go to halftime. We will be discussing a number of topics here across the National Football League. We're going to be looking at other things across the sports world as well. And I guess we should make mention too of the Super Bowl halftime show that is scheduled.
Do they have anything going on for that this year?
Kendrick Lamar, what is that his name?
What is that?
The kids like him. That's what I know. Yeah.
No, I know who he is. There's a lot of people bitching about that one, to be honest. Because they don't feel like he's a big enough name to carry the Super Bowl halftime show yet. He's had a lot of number one hits this year. He's great at what he does, but is he a big enough name to really carry that halftime show? What do you think?
I'll be honest with you. He is not on my radar. That particular kind of music isn't something like I've tried, because when I heard he was going to be the guy, I did do a little bit of research, and I'm like, I'm just not seeing it as far as what you're saying. You put somebody on the global stage of a Super Bowl halftime show, You've got to have something that's going to draw people in for that. We have seen this the last few years, and other networks are picking up on it. They're doing their own halftime shows nowadays. When they're trying, and they're starting to see people switch the channel during the halftime because they're not overly interested in who they're bringing in for these halftime shows. Does it appeal to a certain demographic of the fan base? Absolutely. Are they trying to attract younger audience members to sustain new fan base? Yes.
Well, they have the younger audience members already because of Taylor Swift.
I was just going to make mention of that. That's the Taylor Swift influence and why Kansas City has become a merchandising mogul for the NFL in the last few years. Because of her influence, she draws a lot of attention. A lot of people who wouldn't generally pay attention to football tune in just to see her on the screen sitting in the box. That's what they're doing with these halftime shows. Now, for me, I think of Super Bowl halftime shows, and the people that I would list, man, these were great shows, are people that are by and large considered old, past their prime. Bruce Springsteen, Michael Jackson, Prince. These were iconic performances. I haven't seen an iconic performance, what would be deemed an iconic performance, in quite some time. But then I start to be a realist about it. I'm not the target demo anymore.
Yeah, but if you really look at the last couple of years, just a couple of years ago when they had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent, all those guys, that was amazing. If you want to stick with the hip hop and the rap, you need, like, I understand Kendrick Lamar's huge in that area right now, but you got bigger names out there that could draw. Like, what about Lil Wayne? I've heard Lil Wayne's name floated around quite a bit. He's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having hit songs that would play well for that halftime show. He's more widely known than Kendrick Lamar. So I was trying to look at the justification. Usually the halftime show usually goes a different direction. And going with the bigger name, whether it's a pop star or, somebody who kind of like transitions between rock and pop. Or even like, I'm not surprised. I'm sure they've tried to get Taylor Swift to do it, but she'll be sitting in a box moving out all kind of stuff. So she probably has no interest in actually performing at that show. I don't blame her for that aspect because she likes to enjoy the game. Because the man's playing the game now.
Right. Well, theoretically, he's got to win today, and then he'll get there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a damn shame, though. What do you think they're going to do on vacation? Once Buffalo stamps their ticket to the Super Bowl.
Well, they're not going to have a vacation until after the Super Bowl. They'll probably go to Disney World or wherever else they go. Yeah, okay, I was waiting for that flag there. I'm like, that was an early hit. And it happened in the end zone. They're about to be a flip. I love it.
Yeah, you're starting to see tensions rise here.
That was I was listening to the news. I know about that before, but they were talking about things they wanted to add to the NFL. And Travis Kelce was actually trying to. They had the commissioner out there earlier this season, and he was trying to add hockey fights in football. Like he was really trying to push to get hockey fights in football.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Starting to see, we made mention a little bit ago, you're starting to see the sideline of the Commanders start to unravel a little bit, but it looks like they're getting back on one page here.
This is what's going to happen. This could be a push. Oh, they're already lining up.
First and goal now.
This is what Jalen Hurts is good at, just being pushed 1 yard. This is it.
Well, look at this.
Yeah. Well, there's a flag. Flag enforcement.
Yeah.
But who's it going to go against? Is it going to be against?
Well, Philadelphia did score there. That's going to take them to 20-12 at this point, pending the extra point.
I don't say I saw AJ Brown in that little square there. I don't know who this flag is.
We're waiting to see. Man,
Yeah.
damn.
I mean, I don't see anything there. I mean, that's blocking.
Right.
I mean, they might get him for excessive blocking. I don't know how the guy's helmet came out.
I don't either. It almost looked like he was using his head to push up Brown's helmet too. Oh wow.
Offset extravagance. They both got called for it.
All right. Well, no harm, no foul, I suppose. But be that as it may, they're going to go for the extra point here. Assuming they're going to nail this, it'll be a 21-12 game with a minute 44 left in the half.
I don't know what Dan Quinn was just calling out there. He was putting out. What was going on?
I don't know.
Jalen Hurts doing that really nice. Just perfect every time. Just pushed right across. They're going for two.
They really are. Kind of surprised by
I'm really
this.
questioning now because I didn't get to hear what that call was. I thought it was just against. No, that call was just against Washington because they're on the 1 yard line, and they're gonna get 2 points right here. They're gonna push them up. Look at this. They're just gonna push them in.
No.
I think this is awesome.
We haven't seen an indication yet from the referees, but it was a penalty on Washington, and they're saying no, he did not go in.
Somebody else was stuff. Let's not get them above. He's across. He's across. You can't see the ball is the problem.
Right.
It's close. I think he was across, but they called no. So obviously, they should take a better look at that. Who knows what will happen? But I think that's probably going to stand because you can't get a good indication of where that ball is. You either need to be way over in that situation, or
Right. Now, if you don't have definitive video evidence to overturn it, it is going to stand. So they're going to take a 20-12 lead right now.
these things are amazing. Let me tell you, lightning round. Anybody out there listening, I can check it out. We just got some fried mushrooms. Look at the size of that fried mushroom. It's gigantic. I'm probably put out of it because I'm watching my wife battle herself, trying to eat it and like burn her mouth up over here. So luckily we only got so much game time left, so I will enjoy that happen.
Yeah, that's just going to be a minute or so. You want to take the over and under as to how many mushrooms will be left by the time we get to halftime? All kinds of great food, drink specials going on here at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer. If you are in the area, come on out. Enjoy some good dinner, watch some football. You can meet Tim and I. We have open mics that are available. You can be on the show, be a part of the conversation.
And if you're a custodian, you get 50% off your order.
Oh, and if you are a custodian, as part of their special, you get 50% off your order here today. So what a fantastic promotional deal that is. Because people like that don't get the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, they get the shit jobs, but they don't get the rewards. Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of cool. That's one of the things I really appreciate about this place.
I'll get there. There's going to be a fight that 37 this game.
That's what I keep hoping.
I mean, it's building.
Yeah.
And we need to see that. You know, I'd like to see it. There always brings some excitement to this game. If you're not a Philly or Washington fan, like, we just want to see a fight.
You just saw a replay there, and A.J. Brown did rip the helmet off of, I didn't see who it was on the Commanders, but he did just rip the helmet right off his head.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, the ball's loose, and it looks like Philly's got it.
With a minute 30 seconds, minute 36 left. 2 timeouts. They're going to score again.
This right here, Tim, could be what shapes the rest of this game. That is a momentum changer right there.
Yeah, because I think Philly gets the ball back after.
Yes, they do. Yep.
Yeah, that ball's out. It's out. Philly jumped on it, right? Right there.
Yeah. We haven't gotten official confirmation, but for all intents and purposes, it looks like the Eagles have recovered on a fumble with a minute and some change left in the first half here. 2 timeouts, like Tim was saying, and the momentum is shifting a lot right now into the favor of the Eagles.
Yeah, because they have plenty of time to at least punch it out in right here. With getting the ball back.
Right. Well, a minute 36 in football is a lifetime.
Yeah. And if you're Patrick Mahomes, 12 seconds is a lifetime.
Right.
Ask the Bills about that one. They know all about that.
Oh, they're going to find out later on this evening when the AFC Championship game goes down at 6 p.m. on CBS. I feel like these networks need to start paying us for advertising them. If you're Dan Quinn, what do you tell your team going into halftime here? What can they do to turn this around? Well, they're yeah.
Unless there's a holding call, I don't see where the flag came out. But there is a flag. If it's in the backfield, let's try to hold on.
It is a holding call. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hold. All day long. That's always going to be like, that's that out.
It's going to push the Eagles back. They're going to do this again.
If I was getting played at halftime, I would just probably tell his team to kind of just hold tight. We'll get through this game. I'll take you guys all out for ice cream. We're losing this one. And we'll take you out for ice cream.
Oh, goodness. Some Philly cheesesteaks and ice cream. Yeah. Which can I tell you? I am not a fan of the cheesesteaks.
They're not bad. I don't mind that.
No. To the referee there, that was nice of him. Make him feel like he's part of it. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now. Probably not a very good sign if you're a hardcore Philadelphia Eagles fan. Yeah, that snap right out of the gate wasn't good. What was it that Hurts was dealing with? Was it a lower leg injury? Was it a knee injury that? Yeah.
But he's been dealing with injuries throughout the season. I think he had an ankle issue.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah.
That's 15-yard penalty.
Right now it's at 3rd and 10, but I feel like this is going to change.
Yeah. He was out of bounds. Yep. That's a play that should not happen. Like, he should know he's already out of bounds because he just lost his team. I've watched that happen so many times. And it's just something that should never happen.
It's these stupid mistakes that are going to wind up costing them, much like what you're saying. But you he knew exactly where he was.
Yeah.
How can you not? Well, this is going to bring up first and goal now for the Eagles.
They really backed off of running Saquon.
Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see that reemerge here in the second half. The later this game goes. And there's Barkley there, picks up a few.
Somebody just called that timeout. I don't know who it was. If I was Philly, I would not call timeout right there. It's probably Washington.
Well, we anticipated that this was going to be the Saquon Barkley show here today, and he has been on full display from the get-go here, even with that first play of from the line of scrimmage for the Eagles, ran it in for that very early touchdown. Washington is going to have to figure some stuff out here going into halftime. The first thing they're going to have to do is tighten up with these stupid penalties and be aware of where the hell it is on the field that you're standing.
Sorry, I had to dive into these mushrooms before they got cold. This is taking much longer than I anticipated. But this is delicious, by the way.
So glad you're happy with it.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's mushroom.
The unofficial sponsor of today's broadcast, and it is another handoff, and he goes absolutely nowhere.
But did you get a penalty right there?
Right. And one more, and looks like Washington's going to take their final timeout. Philadelphia still has 2 remaining. And one more time, when they go to halftime, we will go to halftime. And then we will bring you the second half of the NFC Championship game between the Eagles and the Commanders. Jimmy Johnson, that dude hasn't changed at all. His hair's gotten a little whiter, but I don't think he's lost a lock of it. You know what I'm saying? Looks like $1 million. Third and goal now for the Eagles. 43 seconds left to play in the half. Hurts goes to the air, and there it is. Touchdown. No flags on the play. That one is going to add 6, possibly 7 if they decide to go for the extra point. A.J. Brown pulls that one in. Another guy that's been all over the place here today. They are going to go just for 1 here. Those flags are not moving. Wind does not seem to be a factor right now in Philly. There's the snap. It's up. It is in. Yep, 27-12 now. The Eagles are leading the Commanders. Philly's got 2, but at this point, let's just let it roll. Just let it roll. Just knock these 39 seconds up. You can enjoy the rest of your mushrooms while they're warm. We can take a break.
They're just going to get the halftime, so if we can, get the 2 minutes over to go over ice cream.
No. I mean, we do certainly appreciate those of you who are tuning in to this live stream across the PFC Entertainment Network, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Riverside.fm. If you are watching us through the Facebook feed, you are more than welcome to join the conversation through the live chat. We get the notifications on our screen and select messages. will be put onto the screen during this broadcast here. So we certainly appreciate your support. Super Bowl is coming up here. I mean, that's what all of this is about. Winner of this game will meet the winner of the AFC Championship game, Buffalo or Kansas City. New Orleans, Louisiana is going to be hosting the game this year. You know, I know they plan these things well in advance, years in advance, so that the host city can get prepared to host this event. This is not going to be the first time New Orleans and the Superdome has hosted the Super Bowl, but given recent events that have happened in the city, you know, since the start of the new year here, I feel like the Super Bowl is something that this city desperately needs for morale purposes. You know, something to rally behind. Do you think they're going to be ready come February 9?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that city's always going to get a party. They'll be ready to go. But yeah, for morale, I mean, they've had some attacks down there recently. So it'll be something big with the city. Probably a cool place to have a city. Just like Vegas was last year.
Yeah.
You're talking about party cities.
You know, I never had you mentioned Vegas. I never had an overwhelmingly desire to go visit Las Vegas for any stretch of the for any reason really. Well, WrestleMania is going to be there this year, where where the Raiders. There's tentative plans. Yeah,
It's Vegas is one of my favorite places.
is that right?
I
I man, that's kind of surprising to hear because a lot of times when I hear people come back from Vegas, there's a lot of horror stories. Not to say that there's not some good that came away from it, but there seems to be, you know, just because of the nature of Las Vegas, there seems to be a lot of bullshit that goes on there that me personally, like I don't entertain it. I won't. I so I was like, man, I wonder if Vegas is the right city for me, or am I going to sit there and be bitching the whole time because I do that from time to time.
There's so much to do there, even besides gambling. There's so much to see, so much to do. There's shows to go to. You can go horseback riding out the mountains at sunset. We did that. That was absolutely amazing. It's the coolest place I've ever been in my life. The lights, and honestly, we never even saw it at night. Like, we never adjusted to the time difference. So, like, by the time it started getting dark, we were in bed. But the problem with that was we were up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like trying to go out and get coffee because we never adjusted to the time difference. We were like in bed by like 6:30 and up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy. So I never even got to experience the nightlife in Vegas. But the daytime, amazing, fun, had a lot.
I feel like Amy made mention of that when on her show when you guys came back from your vacation, and she had made mention that it was very difficult to get acclimated to their time schedule.
Yeah. So they were like 3 hours behind us.
Yeah,
It's a trip we did to get used to that time. And we were just like, we went for our honeymoon and we had, Chase was pretty young at the time, so he kept us, we didn't get much sleep usually, because he kept us pretty active.
hmm
We weren't used to staying up late. It was kind of like when he went to bed, we went to bed. You don't have time.
the Commanders have a 1st and 5 now, with 19 seconds left to play in the half. They're going to. There he goes. Yep, picks up the first down plus some.
Probably only got 13 seconds. And no timeout, so he's gonna have to try to shoot something to the outside. You gotta pass it this far.
Right.
You can't run like that down. And you need to, whatever you pass, has to be outside.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong clock. I was looking at the play clock, not the game clock. So yeah, 13 seconds is what's left. First and 10 for Washington. Philly's going to take another timeout here. Their second timeout.
I think what they're going to do now is they're going to take 2 shots. They're going to try to move something downfield. If something looks really good, they'll go for it.
Right.
They got nothing.
Exactly.
But they got 13 seconds to try to get 2 quick looks to see if they get anything.
Right.
But if he's smart, this is where a veteran quarterback will not just throw anything. It has to be the perfect pass. Because you make one mistake, you're not going to get outside.
Zane Gonzalez now getting warmed up, and he's had a 53-yard field goal previously this season. Washington ideally wants to get up to that 25-yard line. Picks up the first down, does step outside, and that's going to bring us down to 6 seconds left.
I think you.
Yeah, they are.
6 seconds isn't enough time to really get another look at it. It's going to leave it like 2 seconds left on the clock.
All right, first they're going to take their last timeout is the Eagles. 27-12. They're about ready to take this into halftime here. I don't know, man. But what's the point? It's not going to change anything. You're not in any kind of
you didn't even do it like a position to try to ice the kicker.
No.
You just took it to take it.
42-yard attempt here for Gonzalez.
Did he miss one already earlier? Or no, the Eagles missed one?
The Eagles missed one, yes, sir. Going to try to narrow the gap here a little bit, and it's up, and it is good.
2 seconds left on the clock. That's why I said now they're going to. But Eagles are just going to down there. We're going to.
Yeah, it is 27-15. We will go ahead and take a timeout ourselves. We're going to go into halftime now. Come back with us at the start of the third quarter for this NFC Championship game. If you are in the Lapeer area, still plenty of time to come out and hang out with us. Enjoy some good food, and if something like that. Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna look into that if I'm being honest. But be that as it may, we will go ahead and step aside, and we'll be back for the start of the second half here on the Sports Reel podcast, live on location from Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan, right after this.
Well, I was not aware that you guys were.
Well, we're live. honey.
We are back live here at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. And Tim Sheridan, I'm Jason Klaus. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here. We are live streaming during the NFC Championship game with the Philadelphia Eagles with a 27-15 lead coming out of halftime, going into the third quarter. Tim, what's your big takeaway here as we start the second half?
The Eagles are winning.
Fair. And that's why people tune in for that in-depth analysis.
No, the Eagles are doing exactly what I thought they were going to do, to be honest. Barkley's been out of control of the game. AJ Brown's been having a hell of a game. Jalen Hurts doesn't look that great. He's, he got pushed over with a tush push. Ooh, that was a bad hit.
That was a bad hit, yeah. Very early going here.
Yeah, if Washington wants to have a chance in this, which they very well could. I mean, it's they have an explosive offense. I think in the NFC, their team would be as close to like an AFC caliber offense out of anybody in the NFC. The way that they play with Jaden plays more like some of these bigger, superstar AFC quarterbacks than anybody else in the NFC. They have a chance. They could do it, but the defense really needs to be able to slow down Saquon and slow down the Eagles as a whole. I just don't see it happening at this point.
No, obviously Washington is going to have to make some adjustments. We kind of alluded to it right before they went into halftime. What does Dan Quinn tell this team to get them back on the rails here? But very, late in the half, we really started to see tensions rise between these two teams. These are divisional rivals, make no mistake about it. But, when you get on a stage like this with a berth to the Super Bowl on the line, emotions are going to be running at an all-time high. And, you're really starting to see frustration come to the limelight. We're starting to see a number of different things. And then once Washington started to make a game out of it, was like, okay, they're starting to settle down. They're starting to get on one page here. But some stupid penalties very late in the first half. They've got to clean this up if they're going to make a run at this, a serious run at this. And down goes Hurts. See, and I know I'm going to be in the minority about this, but stuff like that showboat stuff like that. Okay, you sacked the quarterback, get your ass back to the line of scrimmage. You're still down. You are not dominating this game by any stretch of the imagination. So you don't need to be out there flexing. You don't need to be out there showboating. Go out there and play the goddamn game.
Yeah, especially when you're down by 12 points.
Right.
Like, there's no room for showboating. Especially when you're going we set a nice little stop for them right here. This would be a turnaround for them. But the offense really needs to pick it up. Right now, the offense is going.
It's going to bring up a quick fourth down here, 13-15, and the clock is running here in the third quarter. And they looks like they are going to punt it away, and unless they're going to try a trick play here, but that's not off the table at this point. You never know. First punt today by the Eagles, and oh man, I don't know if he got all of that, but no.
I feel like this game's taking a long time.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was the only one who was feeling that, but I was like, man, it's like that last 40 seconds of the second half or the second quarter, like, holy shit, this is taking forever.
And maybe it's because, neither one of these teams are our team, so it's like.
That's fair.
You have like not a lot of. I have interest in the game, obviously, but you don't have much to look for in this game. Like, who really cares who wins? I mean, obviously, maybe one of us is wearing an Eagles hat right now, but
Oh man.
I'm trying to say because like it's already 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Damn, they got an hour to wrap this up before the AFC game
yeah,
comes on.
kickoff for the Chiefs is at 6:30, an hour and a half. So it took them 2 hours to play the first half, and they had an hour and a half for the AFC game. But they're on different networks. So
Right, right.
they'll kick that game off right now.
Makes you wonder what they're going to do with the big screen here if this isn't over. If this game is not over by the time the AFC game starts, are they going to flip it over? Then what do we do?
Other than that, I'm gonna go home, pop some Chiefs gear on, drink some more beers, and watch the Chiefs go out and beat the Bills.
Okay. Apparently, we have different plans because I'm going to go back. I'm not putting on Chiefs gear, and I'm going to watch the Bills win. But
How unfortunate for you.
No, this is a good time. We certainly appreciate the fine folks here at Lightning Rounds who allow us to come in and do this live stream during these pivotal games. As of right now, we do not have any plans to live stream during the Super Bowl. But if something comes up and that becomes a thing, then obviously stay tuned to our socials, as they say, for all the latest information. And be sure to check out pfcnetwork.net, the official website of the PFC Entertainment Network. Started doing some updates on that website, changing some of the pages around because some of the shows have been pulled from the lineup, no longer going to be a part of our network. I'll get to that later on next week on the flagship show, which drops on Tuesdays. And then Tim and I will be back. You'll be able to check us out. We'll live stream our recording session on Wednesday, and I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot to talk about. As we will know, man, down goes Daniels, big loss there. And the Eagles defense showing up big here. Third brings up a third down.
They want to get in this, they can't do stuff like that. I don't know what he was doing. I mean, obviously, he had nowhere to get on at all. Yeah, no. Oh, that should have been a face mask.
Sure, should have been. He realized it, but if anybody was paying attention, I mean, they've only got 13 officials out there. You'd think one of them would have caught it, but what do I know? We're here watching it on TV.
I just think the Eagles get preferential treatment from the Tufts. The refs are going to be the whole reason the Eagles win this game.
You're trying to rattle me. It's what you're doing. You're trying to ruffle the feathers here, and I'm not, and I'm no selling you.
If it wasn't the Eagles, anybody else would have
Oh, for shit's sakes. It's 4th and 13 now. Washington is punting it. It's going to take it around the 32-yard line. Brings it to about the 41. Yeah, the Philadelphia has been pretty dominant for the most part during the course of this game. Although do not count Washington out. Other people have counted them out at various times during the season. They have found a way to win. That's why they're in the position that they're in now. You cannot count them out. But I mean, it's not going to take much either. Their error of margin is not that big. All it takes is one key play for Philadelphia to switch that momentum, and they're just going to take it, and that's the way it is. Now, as a sidebar, we're looking at this ad for the new Superman movie. Where are you at on Superman on this movie? Have you seen this trailer before?
I have seen the trailer. I haven't I didn't pay much attention to it yet. I know they recast Superman again.
Right.
That was like how many times have you recast these characters?
Are you more of a Marvel guy or more of a
I'm more
DC
of a
guy?
Marvel, but I do enjoy. Like I thought the Superman movies were good.
Yeah,
With Henry Cavill as Superman, he was a great Superman.
he was.
I haven't really. The last Batman with Robert Pattinson, a lot of people disliked. I actually liked it.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. DC as a whole, like the Joker movies, like the first Joker movie was amazing. Every time I watch it, I just realize how good that movie is. And then they came out with whatever that piece of shit they did for the second one was. Have you seen that?
I have not. My girl and I were talking about it. Because I knew of that there was a sequel, but I didn't know that they turned it into a musical. And that's what happened
Yes.
because of Lady Gaga's influence.
Yeah, but it's not even a good music.
Okay, is it?
Yeah, it was. I felt like I wasted at least 2.5 hours of my life and I'll never get back.
2.5 hours is how long that movie is?
It might have been 3, it might have been 2. I don't know. Whatever it was just wasted time out of my life that I'll never get back. It was a complete disappointment, especially with as good as that first movie was. Like that first movie to me was a masterpiece. And I didn't even appreciate it as much as I do now until I watched it too. Because you pick up on stuff the second time you watch it.
Sure.
You start realizing how good that movie is. And they just shit themselves when making the second one. They have potential to do something magical with that character in the world. But that's what DC does in my opinion. And that's why it's like I'm more of a Marvel fan than I am a DC fan because DC has the tendency to shit their own bed when it comes to making movies. They'll make one really good one and then it's just like what is this piece of crap?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the first Joker movie, and we had seen, I think it popped up on a graphic or something like that on Hulu or something like that, that advertised the sequel was being released for streaming or whatever. And she's like, well, they turned it into a musical. I'm like, how in the fuck do you turn the Joker into a musical? But no pun intended.
The idea behind it could have been good, but it wasn't very well written. The best part of the movie was like the last 10 seconds of the movie.
I'm looking forward to the new Superman, though. I'll tell you, the dog is what got me.
Yeah, it should be good.
Not really.
But Henry Cavill was by far my favorite Superman. I thought that worked really well. I didn't even mind Ben Affleck as Batman.
I was going to ask you what you thought about.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. When he was like in, when they brought all the characters together.
Mhm.
I thought the last Flash movie was amazing.
That one got shit on a lot, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I really liked it.
For being its own standalone movie, like it was very well done. When I think about another touchdown for the Eagles. Hurts runs it in, and this is getting away from Washington.
They don't score this next one.
It is now 33-15. It's going to be 34-15 pending or barring the extra point here. I know we got off on a sidebar there.
I don't know.
No, I mean, like I said, when the game is getting out of hand like this, we've got airtime to fill, and we saw that trailer for the Superman movie. Obviously, Christopher Reeve is the guy that set the bar.
Yeah.
As far as he will always be Superman.
Yeah.
But the guys that have come after him, even Brandon Roth that they brought in for Superman Returns in 2006. I thought he did an amazing job on trying to be Christopher Reeve without being Christopher Reeve. He sounded like him, he moved like him. Although the one thing about that movie that annoyed me, not one punch was thrown.
Yeah.
not one. With this new incarnation, we talked about the Justice League, the Batman versus Superman movie. I thought Ben Affleck did a great job. I thought Henry Cavill did a great job as Superman. I didn't know he was British up until I saw an interview with him. I'm like, why is he talking like that? Like that? Because you got no indication that he was British while he was playing that role. You talk about Flash movie, the Wonder Woman movies. I thought were well done.
Yeah, they were well done.
You know, it's all about that casting. And I'll be honest, you said something about Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
I could not get it through the whole movie.
Really?
I could not. I'm a Batman guy, you know what I mean? But
It's a different take on the movie. I think a lot of people say it was more along the lines of the comic books than some of the rest of the things, like the Tim Burton ones or the Dark Knight series. You know what I mean?
right.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was a little bit different take on the Batman movies, and I thought it was really good. It's more of a dark movie, you know, sort of their DC dark category. Because at the same time, Ben Affleck was still playing Batman, and Michael Keaton came back and played Batman at the same time. So I think that's a problem with DC. They have too many different universes going on at once.
That not only that, but I am not what you would call a comic book guy. You know, I don't follow the storylines in the comic book. So if they do adapt that to the big screen, I don't know the difference. You know what I mean? I am going strictly on what's being presented to me as a viewer. I have my fanfare, I have my favorites as far as superheroes go, but I don't follow the backstories, the multiple backstories, because after a while it gets to be too much for me. You know, we saw an ad earlier for the new Captain America movie. You know, when the hell did Falcon become Captain America? I mean, obviously I know the answer to that, but if you don't follow close enough, you're looking at that's not Captain America, that's the Falcon.
Yeah.
Like, what the f- are we doing right now?
Well, in the comic books, he does become Captain America at some point, and so does Winter Soldier.
Oh. Well, see, I learned something new because I wouldn't have known that. So, Philadelphia back on track here is why you folks are tuning in. Back on track, Philadelphia with a commanding lead right now over the Washington Commanders, and you know they're right now. Washington has to turn this around. It is 34-15, 8:58 left to play in the third quarter. It is 1st and 10. Now it's nut cutting time, as it were. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Daniels looks like he's trying to throw. Does. Gets that first down. Darius Slay.
I miss him every time.
You ain't shitting, dude. That kills me to see him in the Eagles jersey.
That was a part of the fault of Matt.
Yep, 100%. Went to the ground there, picked up a few yards.
But he's been with the Eagles ever since he left the club.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was years ago. I mean, he has a really good career going lengthwise, too. Like, still out there.
Low key, too. You know, we don't really pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to him until it's this time of the year, and we have an Eagles player down.
I'm not so sure what happened because Russell played still alive and it's all going on.
No.
I think he's moving. Knocked out or anything.
No, he's communicating. He's moving extremities. Certainly nothing on a critical level by any stretch of the imagination. Well, this has turned out to be a really good day today. Get to hang out with you, talk some football, watch some football. Our girls are here, loving life. My girl met your girl. a good day.
Waiting forever.
You know what I might have been in that?
If the Lions were in this game. I'm with you on that, but look, you gotta look at the silver lining here, pal. That's what I'm doing. And we are coming to you from Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. Certainly appreciate you tuning in here. If you are in the Lapeer area, there's still plenty of time to come out, check us out, meet Tim and I, watch some good football, enjoy some food. If you are in the custodial arts or anything within that umbrella, you get 50% off your order today here at Lightning Rounds. I was looking at the calendar. They have a specific group of people that they celebrate every day of the month. And I absolutely love that. Oh, thank you. So coming up this week, just to give you folks an idea of what they do here, maintenance and Department of Public Works workers will get 50% off their food on Monday. That's tomorrow, the 27th. Residents of Davison, your day is on Tuesday. Seniors, you will be celebrated on Wednesday. Thursday will be media, news, and AV techs. Is that us?
That's you.
What are you doing Thursday? You want to come up? Yeah, you will. And then January the 31st, that's this coming Friday. If you have a birthday in the month of February.
I do.
Do you?
I do.
What day?
28.
No shit. I'll be damned. Well, listen.
40. He'll be 40.
Tim Sheard.
41.
I was like, wait a minute, you're coming up to a milestone and I'm just now learning about this?
That's right.
Your wife don't even know how old you are.
She totally forgot that I turned 40 already.
See, and I felt like we talked about it last year, like your 40th was coming up. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, aren't you already?
Terrible, man.
But I wasn't going to say it. You sure you're not 40 already?
I have 40.
No, I hear you. I love that for you. 28th, huh?
Yep.
I'll be damned.
He's almost a leap year, baby.
Were you born on leap year?
I was.
Were you really?
Yep, I was from 12 hours away from being a leap year, baby.
Man. I know a gentleman who was born on February the 29th, and it's a weird dynamic. Like, he generally will celebrate his birthday on March the 1st, but on the day, on leap year, that's when he gets his actual day. So it's like, hey, how old are you? I'm 13. Get out of here. When in reality, he's like 50-something years old, but be that as it may.
One day he'll be 5
Yeah. You're getting there, John, ever so closely. All right, now Washington is 1st and 10, running around the 19-yard line. Oh, man. That was a dangerous dive.
Yeah, like you can't do that. Like I know he wants to do that, but and now he's sitting there trying to act like they did something wrong.
Right.
He didn't. No, maybe they just grabbed him. But I was like, they didn't do anything wrong. There. He was not defenseless. Like he dropped his shoulder. He didn't slide. They had all right to damage. But you can't do that. You should have slipped. You need to protect yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to bring up 2nd and 3 now. And, they're not going to get it on that turn. Just shy of that first down marker. I'm going to bring up 3rd down now. 34-15. Philadelphia leading Washington. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the third. So I'm going to bring up a big 3rd and 1.
There you go.
Yep, and he's in. Touchdown, Washington Commanders.
The question is, do you think there's enough time for them to get back into this?
Yeah, there is.
They're going to be down by 12 again, but they really need to stop throwing on this next drive.
That's where it is. If they can prevent Philadelphia from scoring on this drive, they're going to be in a much better position. However, if the Eagles score here, a touchdown, especially,
But
it's over. There's no way because that momentum is going to continue to shift towards the Eagles, and they are a momentum-based team. I don't know.
why are you going?
This was a big mistake, I feel like.
I mean, either way, you're 2 scores down, but this isn't needed.
Not right now. Faked a handoff, and he did. They got it. All right. That's going to bring it 34-23.
It still doesn't my mind, what was the point of that?
Listen,
You get an extra 2 points. What do you think?
There's only one extra point, but you take the loss. It doesn't get any closer.
well, on paper, it made sense, Tim. So they're going to go to a commercial break with Washington scoring a much needed touchdown and converting the 2-point conversion. Narrows the gap a little bit for sure.
I still don't see the point of the 2 points. They're just not getting themselves. It doesn't make any sense. They're still down by 11.
Right,
So you still need 2 touchdowns.
right.
Touchdown field goal, you got it. But that was 12 or 13. Like if you missed it, you're down by 13. Either way, it's still 2 touchdowns.
Well, we can sit here from, behind the camera or in front of the camera here behind the microphone, and we can say, well, this makes sense, that makes sense. There's a reason why we're here and they're there, I guess.
Yeah, that is true. That was. I could have been there. I mean, as a fan, not as a player.
Right.
I could have bought tickets,
Sure.
but I don't really.
No?
Probably a cool city to go.
I was going to, are you talking about in general or just for an Eagles game? Because I've been to Philly, and there is a lot of history there. You get to see the Declaration of Independence. You get to see the Liberty Bell. You get the Rocky statue was the whole reason why I went. And going to see the apartment that Rocky lived in Rocky 1. We went to that neighborhood, and holy shit.
Scary neighborhood.
It really was, dude. There is nothing that indicates this is a backdrop of one of the greatest movies ever made. Somebody actually lives in that apartment, and they were not happy that I was out there taking pictures outside and made no bones about it. They come out, you need to get down here. You need to take pictures of my house. I'm like, well, what are you doing living in a historical landmark? Like, what did you expect? You know damn well what happened here. Certainly, I'm not the only one that has stopped and taken pictures. Wait, so why are you giving me a hard time? It's because I'm bald. That's what it is. 100%. But yeah, it's on a rough side of the city. Make no mistake.
Now, is this the point in the game that you start slowing gameplay down? Kind of flying time off the clock?
I would think so.
Maybe you just let Baker take it.
No, because here's the thing, man. Like, the Eagles are banged up right now.
Yeah.
Hurts is hurt. Barkley is not at 100%. I don't care what anybody says. Every time we see him on the sideline, they have a massage gun against his calf, or he's on the treadmill. Like there's something going on with him. Now is the time, like you have something of a comfortable lead late in the game. Start taking your foot a little bit off the gas. I wouldn't go too far, because Washington could very well turn this thing around.
Yeah, they're within reach now. I mean, if this was 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, there's still a lot of football left to be played here.
You got to be, man. I was gonna say, man, you better watch what you're doing here. This is where Philadelphia does have the advantage as to what kind of tempo are they going to dictate in this game. A little slip there by Hurts. It makes you wonder, is that his hurt knee that he slipped on?
I don't know. It's just
Could be. But like we indicated earlier, the weather has been pretty favorable for the end of January in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Hurts now. Yep. Ooh, Jesus. Heck of a takedown. This is out of bounds, too. So I'm. Starting to see a sense of urgency. Thank you very much. Yep. Yes, sir.
They know they're on the cusp of getting back into this, but if they don't make a stop, they're not going to. This is kind of like they're playing the same game from last week, pretty much, but it's absolutely
Right.
Washington's not
I mean, for real. And it's going to bring first down for the Eagles. Apple Music, I guess, is going to be sponsoring the Super Bowl halftime show. How much coin do you think that cost them?
I don't know. I know they've been having. I think they've had Dr. Dre been doing producing Super Bowl halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And he's linked with that.
Oh, fair, yeah. We're looking at the game here on the big screen. I look at the smaller screen right to the left. There's a horse race going on.
No, so far this has been a great game.
It has.
The second half is definitely turned around. Becoming a little bit more exciting than what the first half was.
And that's what we said. This is going to go one of two ways. If the Eagles were to really put the pedal to the metal, like this game could have gotten out of hand very, very early on. But at the same time, Washington is here to prove that they're not here by accident. The win last week over Detroit wasn't a fluke. And the win before that over Tampa Bay wasn't what it was. They want to establish themselves as a new powerhouse team, because this is the first time since 91-92 season that Washington has been in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. And honestly, this was supposed to be a rebuild year for them.
Yeah.
They were never expected to make it.
No. Nope, certainly not.
But I still have a feeling this is where the road ends. But they could prove me wrong, and we'll see in
And even if it did end here today, like we have said throughout the course here today, what a season that they've had. No one really expected them to be here in this position up until, like in the month of November, they weren't expected to make the playoffs. That there was hope for it, and people were starting to pay attention. I said it on our show. I was like, man, there's something about the Commanders that makes them a threat for me. And here they are in the NFC Championship game. So I wasn't far off. Um, but now what was supposed to be the rebuild year, and it makes me wonder why people don't take this team more seriously, because this was designated as a rebuild year
Probably.
against the heavily favored Eagles, just behind the Detroit Lions all season long. When you talked about the NFC, the Lions were the team to beat.
Yeah,
Eagles
they were the best team in the NFC.
were right underneath them. So to see the Eagles at this point, not a surprise. Washington, big surprise.
But let me ask you this: so if Washington doesn't win this game, do you think the fan base will enough to start blaming Jake Daniels and losing the game?
Absolutely, they will, because they need a scapegoat. He's young. He's a rookie. He's not going to do everything perfect. They want perfection. That doesn't happen. This is the National Football League. This is not high school. This isn't even in college. This is the NFL. And when your NFL team goes down, people can't, they have to point the finger at somebody. They need that scapegoat. And yeah, unfortunately for Jaden Daniels, because he's the quarterback, he's going to be the one that gets the heat for it. Absolutely. He could be doing 9 out of 10 things right, but there's going to be that 10th thing that people are going to dial in on and call for his head. Bench him. He doesn't need to be the starter, but they're going to come back next season and he's going to start doing the same thing that got him to where they're at now. They'd be like, oh, he's the greatest thing since Mark Rippon. He's the greatest thing since whoever the hell else you want to, put him up against. Oh man, that's a big mistake. Now he's not going to get heat for dropping that pass right there. Sure, he underthrew it, or I wasn't ready, or yeah, that's the shitty part about all of it.
Well, it's good to see Zach Ertz still getting reps in the league. He's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Got a minute left in the third quarter. It is 3rd and 10 for the Commanders here. Long snap. Quickly gets the first down.
But he's just going for hits on everything.
Yeah. You got to go with what works, right? I mean, as long as there's that opening.
They score right here.
Yeah. Setting up in the shotgun formation makes you wonder, though. What at some point are they going to go for the long ball to get them further down the field? Oh my God! They never mind. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to take this over here. I think they are too. Got no official confirmation yet from.
They were calling him down.
Well, the Eagles think that they have it naturally. We're going to get a better look at this. He's down.
But he gets back up.
Oh, and punched it. The Eagles are on it. So that's going to be an Eagles ball.
Yeah. If he would have just stayed down there, he'd have been fine.
Yeah. But it
But it doesn't matter.
has there been an official indication? I haven't either.
It's like Washington came up with it.
Right. Yeah, we saw Eckler come up with the ball. But from our vantage point, it looked like Philadelphia. It is Philly ball. So Washington did cough it up. And another quick first down for Philly as he runs out of bounds here. A.J. Brown once again, the target here. So there you see the ball gets punched out.
Philly was on it,
Yeah.
and then they just wrestled it out. Oh, that's the end of the third.
Well, the third quarter went by faster than the first two combined, so that was fun.
I'm going to take one more quick break before we get on to this fourth quarter.
All right, sir.
And we'll get back to it.
And while you do that, I will remind everybody, as a quick programming note, that this Friday, live on ONTV, the Fatal Four Way will be back on the air. It will be our special Royal Rumble preview show. And we're going to be breaking down that big premium live event. It goes down next Saturday from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Want to go on a road trip, man? So yeah, the Royal Rumble next a week from yesterday, so 6 days away. And the night before, myself and the other guys will be live on ONTV to break it all down to preview this big show. And you can watch it beginning at 6 p.m. Facebook.com/Orion ONTV. It is the Fatal Four Way as a part of the PFC Entertainment Network exclusively on ONTV. And with that, we will take a quick timeout and we will be back with more of the Sports Reel podcast live on location from Lightning Rounds here in Lapeer, Michigan, right after this. this should have been in Ford Field. You know,
Yeah.
what would Ford Field be like right now?
Oh, it'd be insane. I honestly think Detroit is a better matchup against Philly than what Washington. Like, it would have been a completely different game. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Lions fan. I'm saying that because Detroit is the better team. They just had a shit game at the wrong time.
They're going to go to the ground right there, and it's going to pick up, I think, maybe 5. It's going to bring up second down and 5 from our estimation.
You're gonna see them on the ground most of this whole series. They're just trying to burn them off the clock. And they have the run game to do it. They can take the next 5-6 minutes off the clock, just running the ball, keep running the ball.
Right.
Make up these 30 yards.
Well, this is what I call nut crunching time here in terms of the game.
But I mean, I want to give a shout out to Washington fans right now. Your team had a hell of a season.
Yes.
They've done good, but now you know how we felt last week.
Right.
We're in about the same position.
All right, it's going to bring up 3rd and 4th. Sorry about that. I had to make sure I had all my ducks in a row in terms of getting our bills paid and whatnot here at the fine folks here at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan. Very much looking forward to coming back here for our next endeavor.
It should be. Cool dragon on them. There it is.
There, I was going to say, I don't know, man. They've been waiting an awful long time.
That was blatant, though. Like, he's holding it right there. That's going to put him on maybe the 6-yard line. Good year for Dan Quinn.
It really has been.
He made a quick turnaround on this team. All respect for him.
One of the most underappreciated coaches, I feel like, in the NFL. Dude's got a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
He's been around a long, long time.
They're just going to chip away at him. Five rushing touchdowns here. Like all rushers.
41-23 is the score right now. 151 rushing yards for Philadelphia, 87 for the Commanders in this game today. And one more, yeah,
One more to go.
I'll tell you,
That's it.
that's it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be representing the National Football Conference on February 9th at Super Bowl 59. With 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the fourth, I just don't see a way Washington comes back from this.
No, I don't even see Philly starters playing anymore in this game. There's not. They're up by way too much.
Barkley's had himself a hell of a game today. I mean, and take nothing away from Washington. It's not like they just came in and rolled over. They've given it their all. Jaden Daniels did everything he could. It just, on this day, Tim, it is days like this that experience does play the difference maker in this. All all smiles in Philly right now.
Yeah, they should feel good. You know, they get to go back to the Super Bowl once again. They were there 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago when they lost to Kansas City. They'll have the same feeling again this year.
It's gonna, yeah.
I
Well,
don't see them winning a Super Bowl, whether it's against Kansas City or the Bills. These are two teams that I think are on different levels. Now, I think they'd have a better chance winning against the Bills than Kansas City.
I would agree with that. They would definitely have a better chance at this. But look, we've maintained, and I'll say it again, whoever wins the AFC Championship later tonight is going to be the Super Bowl champion. Take nothing away from Philadelphia. You know, they are what they are. But you said it earlier, the AFC has just been pretty damn dominant when it comes to the Super Bowl. And, regardless if it's Kansas City, regardless if it's Buffalo, the AFC representative really is the odds-on favorite. And I don't give a shit what Vegas says. I don't care what DraftKings says. I don't care what any of that crap says. When it comes down to it, on paper, statistically, the AFC is just so damn strong on so many levels. The NFC representative in this case, by all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to be the Eagles. Isn't going to be enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. No. They just NFC's on a different level. The quarterbacks are at a much higher level play. The teams are at a much higher level play. If they have to go against Kansas City, I don't see them being able to eat up Kansas City defense. Kansas City defense is by far the best defense left out of those two teams in the AFC. The offenses are pretty equal. I think Buffalo's defense just isn't good enough to beat Chiefs either at this point. But I think if they do, the Eagles would have a better chance against them just on a defensive level to be able to stop Buffalo's defense.
With the 48 points that the Eagles have put up today, that is the second most a team has scored in an NFC championship game ever. Pretty impressive stat there. 7 minutes, 51 seconds left to play. 1st and 10 now. But it really, there's always a chance, I guess. There's always that glimmer of hope. However, the way you could tell just by the demeanor on both sidelines, Washington is they're just there at this point. The wind has been taken out of their sails.
They know it at this point.
Yeah.
It's too. There's always a chance for anything, but you're not going to get. You have maybe one more possession left to score here, and that's just not enough. They're down 25 points.
Yeah.
My brain ain't brain.
Oh man. But what a hell of a season for the Commanders. It's unfortunate that flag is good. Yeah.
I didn't see if anybody jumped the yellow.
Another flag came in very late. I'm gonna bring up 7 minutes left, 7:01 left to play. 1st and 10 in here in the 4th quarter.
7:01, you're down 3 scores.
Yeah.
Man, realistically, I'm gonna have 2 points. You're down 4 scores.
Yep. It's going to be 1st and 5 now. With that penalty, the barrage of penalties that came in at the last second there. Oh, man, batted away. Yeah. We'll bring up 2nd and 5. Yeah, I don't know, man. It really does look like it's it really is. So we can focus now on the AFC Championship game that's going to be coming up. 23 minutes, yep. And the Buffalo Bills will be in Kansas City to play the Chiefs. We've already well documented. Tim is pulling for the Chiefs. Just to be a thorn in his side, I have shifted my allegiance to the Bills because you got to have a conflict every now and again. I can't agree with you on every single thing.
No, that's understandable.
But we're going to be breaking all of this down. There it is. There it is. We're going to start to wind this down. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight or this afternoon to be a part of this live stream. We've certainly had a lot of fun doing this. And we want to send another shout out one more time to the fine people here at Lightning Rounds in Lapeer, Michigan, for rolling out the red carpet for us. Great food, great deals going on. Check out their website. Look up Lightning Rounds on Google, and you can get all the latest information, all the goings on they've got going on here. Just a fantastic place. I used to come to this building back when it was called Michael's Roadhouse. Do you remember when it was called Michael's Roadhouse, Amy? You do, don't you? Yeah. Then it was Sidetracks for a long time, and now here we are with Lightning Rounds. So, fantastic ownership, fantastic staff. The food is pretty remarkable. The deals are outstanding. So be sure to check them out. Especially if you're in the Lapeer area. And as a programming note, one more time, Tim and I will be back on the air Wednesday night at 6:30. We will be live streaming our recording session for the Sports Reel podcast this week. I'm sure we're going to be breaking down Championship Sunday here in the NFL. We're going to be looking ahead to other things going on in the sports world. MLB. Spring training is going to be starting here in a couple of weeks. The UFL is going to be starting here in March. We're going to make that destination for sure. And we do have feelers out to see if we can actually broadcast from Ford Field during a UFL game, during the Michigan Panthers game. So stay tuned to our socials for all the latest news and information about this show and all the other great shows here on the PFC Entertainment Network. And Friday night, we will be back on ONTV. Brian, Quadell, Sean, and myself will be doing a preview of the Royal Rumble Premium Live event from World Wrestling Entertainment. The road to WrestleMania starts this coming Saturday. So we're very much looking forward to that. Tim, anything else you want to throw out there before we put a bow on this? Oh, going to be interesting to see what kind of mood Mr. Sheridan is going to be in after the Bills win here later today.
You won't even upset. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But, go Chiefs.
I just got the death stare from Amy Sheridan, who you're going to hear with the return of the real podcast. With that, we appreciate you all tuning in. Stay tuned to pfcnetwork.net for all the latest news and information. For Tim Sheridan, I'm Jason Klaus. Go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you Wednesday night right here on the Sports Reel podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. Fuck the Chiefs. All right. Second half flew by.
Yeah.
First half,
Oh, that's.
yeah.
Jesus.
I'm gonna tell you, you probably won't even see Hudson come back out after this. I think they're gonna start sitting there. Starters, there's no points to bring up now. There's no order that stuff.